All set, a grand welcome to all of you, my dear students. Today is our day one session for our Azure Data Engineer class. Purnima, you looks great, but we don't need cameras on. Thank you very much, madam. And kindly turn off the cameras. Cameras are not really required for our class. It's just only because my company runs on my face trust. That's the reason I'm just turning on. I'm also going to turn off in 2 minutes of time. Okay, so by the way, let me introduce myself. Okay, what I'll do, I will turn off my camera, share my screen, and give a quick, because you should know from where you are learning, who we are, what exactly we do, what are our areas of expertise, how we have been supporting the people across the globe. I'm not exaggerating. Let us start. So this is my LinkedIn profile. My name is Lakshmi, and I live in Australia. I'm a citizen here, and I have 26 years of experience in IT. I worked extensively in London, Belgium, Netherlands, on various roles, in various roles. India, basically, I'm from South India, but yeah, got an opportunity to work various roles, various projects, various designations, various countries. I always like to challenge myself, and I won't be happy about myself. I always want to see a new version of myself, like how a phone is evolving, like how your TVs are evolving. We should be evolving as well. That's the only way to survive in this competitive market. We have to adjust ourselves according to the marketing conditions, and that's what I have been doing. And that I also call that as agile. That's what the true agility, flexibility. Okay, cool. So with this extensive experience, I floated this company called Hands On Agile Coaching Company. The main reason for me to float this company is because we have most of the trainings outside. The trainings are happening, but they are not really hands on. My true definition of the training is, if you get the job today, are you in a position to do that job? Yes or no? Simple logic. Most of the people whom I interviewed, they said, I have done hundreds of interviews. They said that, oh, we have done the certification, we have these many certifications, I know the concepts, but I don't have the work experience. So without having any work experience, without having using any tools, how can you do the actual job? Yes. So that is the reason I floated this company. And we have been doing various training programs. This is my company website. And we have been doing various training programs: Azure Data Engineering, Cybersecurity, Gen AI, Agentic AI, and the data. All these training programs are there as part of our company umbrella, and based out of Australia, legally registered. And if you just see here, this is the Australian government registration and everything. Okay, team, just for the trust purpose. Cool. And we have been doing, for how long you have been doing? I started with the trainings from 2015 when I was in Belgium, but it's not small and everything. But after coming to Australia, I accelerated the pace, and since then we have been doing very well. This is my LinkedIn profile, and if I just type here Azure, so these are all the Azure Data Engineering batches we have done. You can see May 2024. So more than 2 years we have been continuously doing almost every alternative month. If I just type USA here, these are all the students from USA whom we trained across the globe. See, we are talking about, maybe you see here, maybe, yeah, it will take too much of time. Similarly, if I just type here UK, these are the students from UK whom we trained, and people from Australia. These are all the students from Australia whom we trained. Yeah, not only simple training, we helped plenty of people to get into the jobs. And this is my Telegram as well. So I created this Telegram group to share the marketing insight, latest marketing trends, and all these activities. And here you are going to, yeah, I float like free webinars and marketing insights, the tech webinars, the job opportunities, for example, Melbourne AI Engineer, Medibank, India, Pune, Azure Data Engineer. So all you have to do is simply click there and see what they're asking and just go for it. And how I get these jobs? Yeah, through some referrals, through some consultants, because I have good number of followers on LinkedIn, over 20K followers here. A lot of job opportunities that comes on my way. Even if I just go there here and then just type here Azure, maybe just type enter. So you see all these jobs getting posted, webinars. Not now, so for long time I have been doing. Okay. So if any of you want to join the Telegram channel, so this is the link, invite, copy, and this is my Telegram channel. All you have to do is simply click and join that Telegram group. Okay. Now, we all gathered here for to learn and to master. Let me use this word, to master, not to just learn like a Udemy. We want to master that skill so that we stand out in the market. So one role, we have various roles. You know that market conditions are not that great. I don't give any rosy picture. I'm very honest guy, and we talk about the facts. The reality is always reality. Yeah, the data talks. We have to accept that, and the truth is always bitter. The market is not good. Take it for granted. So we have to really work hard and make it happen to achieve our goals. It is not as easy as it has been before. Okay, my dear students. So in the market, we have various roles that are right now in demand. One area that is in demand, we have been seeing it is the cloud and data. Another area that is in demand is the cyber security roles. So we are talking about maybe governance, risk and compliance, security operations center, and vulnerability assessment and penetration tester under cybersecurity. Another area that is in demand is about how you build the AI agents, how you bring the automation to the organizations. And the rest of the roles, let's say, for example, you are a Java developer, .NET developer, you are tester, you are front-end designer, you are writing the documentation, you are doing the basic production support. I'm not trying to frighten you, but just a matter of time before things get automated. We are in this kind of world. So we are seeing AI agents everywhere. Companies are really investing huge amount of money to build the AI agents and everything. Okay, so let's not worry about the AI and all these things. Anyway, we have the webinars coming up on the cybersecurity and AI for next week. We will be having a good webinar on the cybersecurity. A week after, we will be having one on the AI agents and everything. Okay, we also have in the market called forward deployment engineer. It's a new buzzword. I don't know if how many of you heard, but you will be hearing this role more often going forward across the globe. Take my word for granted, across the globe. What is this? Let's not worry about this one. So today we are here to understand more about the data engineer. When you're talking about a cloud, we have different versions of the cloud, out of which many of the organizations they are preferring Microsoft version of the cloud called Azure. So we have good demand for the Azure data engineers. Now, maybe I'm just a layman. I'm just trying to open the chat GPT and asking what is the demand for Azure data engineers across the globe and why the demand is increasing more nowadays. All of you know this chat GPT, right? It just pulls all the data, various sources from the internet and gives that summarized information. So the demand is one of the fastest growing in the global IT market and continue to increase because AI initiative, blah, blah, blah. Organizations are investing heavily in the Azure Fabric AI, which is creating strong demand. So the demand for all these things, all the sectors, AI needs definitely, right? All the AI needs the data. So without clean data, they won't really operate. They don't give the expected results. So without AI engineer, so our systems, ERP or CRM or SAP databases, it's just the messy data. AI produces poor answer. But with Azure Data Engineer, so we are going to have all these things, pull the data into certain storages. We will talk about this one. Then we feed that clean data into the models. Yeah. Now companies are moving to the cloud from on-premises. It's becoming really hard and to maintain and everything. So they are moving to the cloud for better maintenance and improving the cost optimization. Microsoft Fabric from the Azure is growing rapidly. A lot of companies are embracing Microsoft Fabric, which we are going to cover in the class as well. And every business wants the real-time data analytics. I always tell this to my students. Your data is more like your oil for the car. Without oil, you can't move the car. Without data, a company cannot operate at all. I was just talking about other day. So there is one company in UK. Recently, a cyber attack has happened. One of the employee was using weak password, and taking that as an opportunity, the attacker went into that company and they were trying to blackmail that company for a ransomware, like just asking for funds. I think over £5 million. They couldn't arrange that £5 million overnight, and they deleted all the data. The end result is it's just grounded, gone. The company completely synced, and complete 700 employees they were on road. 700 people out of work. So that's the kind of impact on the data we are talking about. Okay, so we need to have the analytics and explosion of the enterprise data. Nowadays, we are talking about all the devices are becoming smart. Your car is smart, your watch is smart, your refrigerator is smart. Everything we are talking about the data. The devices are talking. We are able to communicate. So they need the data. So it's massive data we are talking about. And AI agents, data governance. So that's the reason companies are looking for skilled data professionals. Okay, so typically we call them as Azure Data Engineers. Let's say, for example, if you are from Australia, we'll talk about the jobs, but just giving you a glimpse. You type here Azure Data Engineer, so you're going to see all these kind of jobs. Data engineer, senior data engineer, Databricks, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So what exactly they will be talking? Azure Data Factory, Data Lake, Data Storage, PySpark, all the stuff we are going to cover very much in detail starting from today. I'm just taking an example. And if you are from India, you can just type here and then just go to the jobs, and you can see here Azure Data Engineer, for example, maybe Azure Data Engineer Australia, recent search history. So these are all the Azure Data Engineer jobs. Junior Data Engineer, just click. Maybe you want to go for entry levels, data engineer. Remote jobs are also there. So mostly about designing, building, pipeline, and everything. I always try to understand the subject in a simple layman terms. Let's say, for example, I'm the plumber. Yeah, and we have. Wait, this just 1 minute. This is a little bit hanging. So I'm the plumber here, and let's say we have all the water coming up. Maybe we have the rainwater. All the water is coming and it is storing in the water storage. Example. So we have the messy water and all the water it's completely soiled water. So what I have to do? I have to move this soil water to the filtering system. Example, filtering system. Like, yeah. So this filter, what it will do? Maybe it will give the clean water here and maybe dirty water here. Okay, now we have this one. Now, as a plumber, what I have to do? I have to create some pipeline and move this clean water to the kitchen for cooking and everything, and move this dirty water to maybe toilets for reuse. So exactly in a similar way, like all the data is coming to the company, we are going to have the big data store, and you are responsible for cleaning the data, restructuring the data, building the pipelines, and storing the data, sharing the data. Exactly the same thing. So imagine yourself in that particular role. Just to give you a quick, just 1 more minute, what exactly the Azure Data Engineer will do in the organization. Let's understand that one and we'll start. What happened? Do I have to select different model? Just 1 minute, team. Okay. because I always tell that to my students, we have to take the data-driven decision. So an Azure data engineer is responsible for designing, building, optimizing organization data platforms so that the users can access the reliable, clean, high quality data. Simple. You are responsible for designing and everything. So a bank data is coming from various sources, all these sources. So as an Azure data engineer, you are going to collect the data, transform it, store it. Look, you see, you have the data from ATM, mobile app, loans, CRM tool, credit cards. You load the data into data factory, data lakes, bricks, and then you move that data for this at a high level. So data is coming from various sources. You are going to build the pipelines. We call it as extraction, transformation, loading. You create the lakes, you do all these activities. Okay, team, cool. So combining all these activities, we created this training program called Azure Data Engineer Training Program. And this is starting from today. And this is the 8-week course content. I'm going to share you this course content as well. It is on our website too. I don't want to go into anything about my company and all the things I already introduced. So we are going to start with the cloud introduction today. What are the differences and everything, overview of the ADA services, okay, Azure data storages. And then after that, we are going to go to the data factory, data scenarios and everything completely in a practical hands-on way. So then we are going to learn the SQL and Python. And then we are going for the Databricks, PySpark and everything. And then the data frames, and then we are going to go for the fabric, the latest one in the market, and then one end-to-end big project we are going to do, and then towards the end we are going to do the Power BI. So we are going to complete the session towards the end of September. So we are going to have the live sessions entire August, entire September. So from next week, the classes, today is Sunday. From next week, the classes are going to be Saturday and Sunday. Same time, of course, different Zoom link, which I will be communicating. So we are going to go like this towards end of September. Each and every live class will be recorded. All the recordings will be stored in the Google Drive. So all of you got this email, a welcome email. Okay. So, and then in this welcome email, you have the Zoom link and you have the Google Drive link. Simply click here and our trainer is going to, sorry. I'm sorry. There is a Gen AI going on. Excuse me. So all of you got this, right? Hands-on Azure Data Engineer Analyst training. So we have the Zoom link and also the Google Drive link. Simply click here and you will be able to just see this one. So today, our trainer has uploaded, just the class started, right? So we have the reading material already here. And what is this? He will go through it. And we will be seeing the recording as well. Just to give you a glimpse, there is an already ongoing class here. You see here, or every day. So he's going to upload on a daily basis. So if you double click, so you will be having the recording and the reading material. This is the recording. So like this, we progress. And coming to the feedbacks on the trainer. So let's say we recently completed May 2026 batch, Azure Data Engineer. So let's see the conversations, blah, blah, blah. So already we shared the CV templates as well. And yeah, project manager jobs and everything I shared here. And yeah, these are all the jobs that I have been posting. Yeah, thank you so much for the amazing training. Teaching style is excellent and explained every topic from scratch in a simple way. And from Australia, Canada, amazing learning. And Hari from Australia, in-depth technical training, practical, and everything. So we have been getting a very good feedback. All right, team, all set, all clear. What do we do if they need experience? We'll talk about those things, tweaking and everything. So we'll talk about all those stuff a little bit later. Okay. We just started our learning journey. So we have all the resources, everything in place, including the CV templates, including the interview question and answers, LinkedIn optimization, jobs, job opportunities, internship letters, everything is there in place. Okay. But we will talk a little bit later, not now. Let us focus on the class. Now, I want to introduce our esteemed, highly technical, qualified trainer. His name is Bhaskar. He is going to be our coach. And this is his LinkedIn profile. He's currently working in C as a senior Azure Data Engineer. He is certified, and when we are learning from the experts, we call it as subject matter experts. We are going to understand the ground reality and the subject in a practical way. We are not here to learn theory. Theory, you ask anything like this, you are going to get it. But we want to learn the subject in a practical way so that we can practice, become confident, and handle the interviews efficiently, do our job efficiently. All right, team. So now I'm going to introduce Bhaskar. So let us start understanding the subject from basic. I want all of you to pay good attention. I intentionally muted all of you. If you have any question, please post your question in the chat. We are happy to answer your question. So this is going to be 3 hours class. So where we'll have a session for next 1 hour, and we go for a 10-minute break, and we will be creating the cloud account after the break. So I want to ensure that during the break, all of you please ensure that you have your debit card or credit card. So because we will be creating the Azure account today itself. And how to load the data, let us, Bhaskar will be guiding us. Thank you, team. Bhaskar, over to you now.
Thank you very much, Lakshmi. Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen. Able to hear me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So thank you very much, Lakshmi, again. And hello, everyone. This is Bhaskar. I'm not taking much time to introduce myself because almost everything is covered by Lakshmi. So at higher level, I'm just going to say my experience is around 15 years of IT experience. I started my career with Microsoft Business Intelligence as an ETL developer with SQL Server Integration Services. So right from the beginning of my experience, I was working completely with data preparation with varieties of the technologies. And later, I got an opportunity to work for Microsoft. I was there for more 8 years, and there I adopted new technologies like Microsoft Power BI and Azure Data Engineering platform. And from there onwards, I started completely working on the data engineering side as my career was started with the ETL. And currently, I'm working for one of the Indian-based company where I was working as like a senior Fabric data engineer. So Fabric data engineer, Azure data engineer, more or less same. 90 to 95% is very much similar. After completion of the course, you can understand they are very much similar. So that is what we are just going to talk about it, how we are going to handle the data as a data engineer. So when I said data engineer, the data engineer may be Azure data engineer, or the data engineer may be Fabric data engineer. Or if you take any data engineering technologies, the concepts are very much similar. The way we are doing slightly it varies. Okay, so but most of the things very much similar. With respect to Microsoft platform, it is 95% identical when you compare with Azure data engineering versus Fabric data engineering. So Fabric also is more demanding, as you know, like even Lakshmi also highlighted that because market is evolving towards the Microsoft complete end-to-end platform Microsoft is having. Previously, it was slightly differs. Now it is having completely end-to-end product. So this explanation is going to help you what is this Azure data engineering and how this Microsoft Fabric data engineering is going to have it. Okay, so as I said, as a data engineer, you're always going to deal with the data. Always, you're right from the day starting till the end of the day, you're every day is going to talk with the data. So how data is there and how they're expecting the data, how data is coming, or what kind of saves we need to do it. Everything rows and columns, okay, numbers, text, dates, all those things you're going to see in every day. Okay, so why business is going to give more priority is without understanding the data, you cannot grow in the business. If you want to grow in the business, you need to take a right decisions. If you want to take right decisions, then definitely you need to have a right data, transformed data, a cleansed data is required. So that is the main responsibilities of data engineers is to provide the cleansed data to the downstream systems, that is a analytics system or data scientists, reporting teams, we are responsible to give. Now, how exactly this data is going to be generated in general? So in general, how data is going to be generated? If you take any business in the market, like if you take a banking, or if you take a insurance, retail, sales, any business in the market, if you take, customers only is going to generate the data. For every business, customers are required. So depends on the business, depends on their market, they're going to have their customers. If you take a bank, there are many banks up there, many customers. If you take a Amazon, Amazon is having millions of customers. Every day, millions of transactions are going to be happen. So if you take a Uber, same customers only. Wherever you go for the business, customers are required. So customers are going to use the applications to generate the data for the business. If you take Amazon as an example, we can order the product through Amazon website, or we can order a product through mobile app. Whatever the way you have, you can order the product. Or if you take a money transactions, if you want to send an amount to one account to another account, you can use net banking. That means you're generating the data. You're doing a withdrawal. So withdrawal also is a transaction. So there are varieties of the ways to generate the data for the business. Okay, so a transaction, if you take any transaction, especially I'm just taking an example for Amazon website, for Amazon business. So most of us ordered at least one time. At least one time you came across Amazon website and you may order the product to Amazon to get it. If you observe that when you're ordering, next time you just try, your order is going to have the customer details. Without customer details, there is no possibility to have a orders. So definitely we need to provide our details. Okay, so customer first name, last name. When you create an account in the Amazon, you would have provided all these details. And then you're taking a products, right? So product details you need to provide it. What is the name of the product? How many quantity you required? So what is the size? What is the color? Color of the products, size of the product, everything will be there in the product details. And to deliver the items from the Amazon, you have to provide the location details also. From which location you're ordering? What is the address for delivery? Okay, so that details we need to provide. All these transactions are going to be happen at some point of time. If you take any transaction, time and date and time is tightly bounded to your raw details. So that details also is going to be there. So based on that, we can have a comparison. Like I wanted to see what is current day sales and what is the previous day sales, or current month versus previous month, or current year versus prior year, or current month same in the last year same month. What is the sales? Now it is August. So August 2026. What is the sales? And August 2025, what is the sales? So if you wanted to do this, then you need to have a historical data. We need to have a complete history of the transactions. So these business systems are not going to maintain. Okay, so simply I wanted to say here, your transaction is going to have a all customer details, product details, and so on. This entire thing we can call it as a one transaction. When you submit, when the moment you paid the payment, so once you complete that order, then that will be treated as a one transaction. So those transaction details are going to be captured by the business systems. Now the business here is Amazon business. So Amazon is going to capture those transaction details. So wherever they're going to keep their business data on a day to day, that particular system, we call it as a OLTP system. So OLTP means online transactional processing system. So this particular system is specifically designed for running the business. The way this database is designed, it supports for running the business. So this system is going to have only raw data, completely raw data, no cleansed data. Like some people, if there is a country, some people they may keep US, or they may keep something like this, or they may keep United States. Okay, so something like this, you will be having a raw data. We need to transform it. We need to shape it into one unified form. So we'll talk about it. But this particular system is not responsible by us. We are not going to be part of this. This is purely related to application developers. So like a Java developers or .NET developers, along with the database developers, they're going to work together to run this business. Our job is going to start right from the our job is going to start right from the business system, because we have to provide a cleansed data to the reporting system. We have to provide a cleansed data to data scientists also. These two systems are our downstream systems. We are responsible to provide it. Okay, so how exactly it is going to be provided? Like I wanted to give some brief idea about it. What do you mean by data? What we are going to do with the data is we are going to process the data. We are going to process the data as a data engineer. Why we need to process this is a raw data which is not suitable for the data scientists. Like if you observed Lakshmi shown with AI, if you give a raw data to AI, it will give wrong insights. But if you give a processed data, if you give a cleansed data to the AI models, you'll get a best insights. So always data engineering is required. Data engineering is required to process and to cleanse the data. So that is what it is. Why data engineers are required is to process the data. We require data engineers. So data means basically you will be having a numbers, text, date and time. Okay, so this all we can say it is a data. Okay, so even before data engineering also we were having a data processing. But that is a traditional data processing, traditional way of data processing. Like I told you, right, my career was started with SSIS. So here also we can do the data processing, but there are many limitations. So these particular tool, I mean, the traditional ETL tools are not capable enough to process current market data, because current market data is having a varieties of the data. But this particular tool was used to support only for structured data and very less volume of data. So there are many limitations. I don't want to go into that because this is not the place to discuss about it. We are going to discuss about only Azure Data Engineering. So I wanted to say that traditional ETL tools were not capable enough to process the data, and those tools are not capable enough to process data also. Process and store, both are not capable enough. So because of that reason, the next generation tools were started utilizing. Okay, so to process the data, we required data engineers. So when we take any data, you will be having only two problems. So problem one is data storage. One is data storage is a problem and data processing is a problem. Data storage and data processing. So to store massive volume of data, you required huge storages, and to process massive volume of data, we required massive compute, and parallelism is required. Those things we can get it in the modern data engineering platform. Okay, so the problem is a big data. The big data means, I'll give a definition again. I'm going to talk about it. A data, if you're not able to store the data in the system, in your system, that we can call it as a big data. Simply, I wanted to say Azure data engineers are going to process the big data. Azure data engineers responsible to process the big data. Okay, so in order to process the big data, we have a two different stages if you go for any data engineering project, irrespective of the platforms. You may go for Azure platform, you may go for AWS, you may go for GCP. Every data engineering platform is going to do the same thing. One is data ingestion and other is data transformation. So we need to understand what is this data ingestion and what is this data transformation, how we are going to provide the solution for a big data. An example, you just take an example. We have a data in the business system. We have a data in the business system. I wanted to bring the data from the varieties of the systems. Here I'm having only OLTP system. I'm just showing in the diagram is OLTP system, only one system. But you may have a varieties of the source systems. Okay, so we are going to see that practically how exactly it is going to be there. First, we need to do the data ingestion. Every data engineering project in the market, 100% is they have to do the data ingestion. So ingestion means it's a process of taking data from the varieties of the source systems and keeping in a single unified storage. This system is not going to support big data. It cannot store big data, but this data lake is going to store the big data. We have a Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 from the Microsoft, which is going to help us to store a massive volume of data. A big data, we can store it. So in order to store the data in the data lake, first you need to extract it. How we are going to extract it? How we are going to load it into the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So for that, we are going to use Azure Data Factory. So Azure Data Factory is used to extract the data from the varieties of the source systems and loads into Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. This particular Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 is specifically designed for big data. It is designed for a big data. So I'm going to show you that how we can say that it is designed for big data. So what you're doing, you're extracting and you're loading. You're not doing anything here. You're extracting and loading it into the target. Okay, so this process, the process of extracting and feeding into the target without doing any transformation, that we call it as a data ingestion. So that is what I'm saying here. A data ingestion is the process of bringing data from source systems to landing, is known as a data ingestion. This is one of the primary responsibility of the data engineer. How exactly this data factory is going to be there? Let me show you, you can understand. So this is the data factory that we are going to have. We are going to see how we can create it, how we can set up the environment, how we can do, how we can read from the varieties of the source systems. If you see, like we have a varieties of the systems, you can see it. I'm going to talk about this. I just shown there only Oracle. Okay, so you can see Oracle is there. Okay, so like this, we have a DB2, Amazon, S3 bucket. There are many things, Netezza, SAP, PostgreSQL. So we can use the varieties of the source systems. We can take from anywhere. Depends on the business requirement. We are going to prepare this data ingestion. So in order to do that, we need to create a pipelines. I'm just showing how exactly the pipelines are going to be there. But we are going to talk about this right from the beginning. We are going to talk about it, so you don't get confused. I just wanted to show how the tool is going to be there. It's completely code-free ETL. You don't need to write a code. You don't need to write a code. You can use the just drag and drops. So that is what the data ingestion we are going to do it. And after the data ingestion, the very important, this is the place everyone should be strong. If you're not strong enough here, then data ingestion alone is not going to help you to get a job in data engineering. So I've seen many people, can we get a job with only data factory? No, because data engineering means it's combination of data ingestion and data transformation. They are tightly coupled. We cannot separate them. Okay, so 99% is not possible to get a job only for data factory. So that means data transformation also is very, very, very important than the data ingestion. And this is the place where we are going to spend a lot of time to talk about data transformations. So data transformation is going to follow a medallion architecture. Just remember these points, whatever I'm going to talk, we are going to see at the end of the, I think it is the 7th week, we are going to talk about a project. The project is going to use medallion architecture. Okay, so Medallion is defined one architecture to process the data. Every data engineering projects are going to do the more or less same kind of approach. Okay, so the second part is data transformation. So in order to do the data transformation, you need to pull the data from the landing. Landing means wherever you're taking data from the source systems, you're landed in this landing zone. We call it as a landing zone. Okay, so from here, we are going to take the data with Azure Databricks. This is the heart of data engineering. And we can also call it as a PySpark. So without this term, you cannot get a job. So PySpark, we are going to see as part of Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks is a product where we are going to use PySpark. So what is the purpose of this is it reads the data from the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, and then we are going to load the data into the bronze. If transformations are required, we are going to do it. Otherwise, we are not going to do it. So currently in many of the projects, this particular layer is making as an optional, because if you are not doing a transformations here, it's completely optional. Okay, so in my current project, previously we were having this layer, but we took out this layer and we are treating this itself as a bronze. This itself is a bronze we are treating. So you do not confuse at this point of time. I just wanted to say we are going to have a bronze layer, silver and gold layer. These three layers we call it as a medallion architecture. Okay, so we are extracting and feeding it to, and writing it into the bronze. Okay, so once the data is landed in the bronze, in the landing, in my very starting of my project, we were having here the data is there in the file formats here. But here we have a tables. That is the only difference that we were having when we started very starting. We went for this approach. Okay, so in the ADLS Gen 2 it is a files, and in bronze layer it is going to be tables. So what type of tables it is? It delta tables. I'll talk about it. What is delta tables? So this is also Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 only, ADLS Gen 2 only. But why this is files here and why this is tables, we are going to see that. We are going to talk about it. This is too early to talk that. Now in the bronze layer, you have a data in the form of tables. You have a data in the bronze layer in the form of tables, but this tables is identical of your source system. It's a raw data only. In the bronze layer, you are going to have a raw data. But this data is not suitable for reporting. This data is not suitable for data scientists to run their models. So data engineers are responsible to save this data. If data types are not matching, then we need to change the data types. We need to remove the duplicates. Okay, so we need to create a new columns if required without reducing the number of records. So that means we are doing a data cleansing here. We are doing a data cleansing. So null handling is a data cleansing. Changing data type is a data cleansing. Removing duplicates. For some reason, source is having a duplicate records, because data will come from varieties of the source systems. If you have a duplicate, then you have to take out it. Okay, so those things we are going to do. And SCD type 1 and type 2 implementations, if you need historical data, we are going to maintain in the silver layer. So this we call it as a silver layer. When data is moving from bronze to silver, we are going to apply data cleansing transformations. So what are the different types of transformations we are having? We are going to see practically with Azure Databricks. So Azure Databricks, what is this Azure Databricks? What is a cluster? What is a monolithic approach? I mean, how single system used to process the data and how market is processing now with cluster. We are going to talk about it. So once you have a cleansed data, this cleansed data is consumed by the data scientist. This is suitable for data scientists. And but this particular data is not suitable for reporting because it is detail level data. not aggregated data, not summarized data. But business is always going to expect aggregated data or summarized data. So because of that reason, another layer we are having, that is a gold layer. So this gold layer is going to have a dimensions and facts. We are going to have a dims and facts tables. So what is a dimension table? What is a fact table? We are going to talk about it. So at the time of project, we are going to have a fact table and we are going to have a dimension tables. So this system is designed for reporting point of view, for reporting only. Okay, so the granularity we are going to change, we are going to join the data, we apply a joins, we apply aggregations. So I'm saying here, data aggregations and data combinings are going to be happen here. Of course, here also there is a chances to have a data combining. So we're extracting and doing this particular transformation, and then we are loading the data into the gold layer. And here we are going to have a facts and dimension tables. This is the final requirement that we are going to have it. Okay, so I'll take a at the time of project on what basis we are going to start doing it. We are going to talk about it. And once the data is landed in the goal layer, this data is ready for reporting team. So reporting team, you may have a Tableau or you may have a Power BI, you may have other reporting tools. So as it is Microsoft products, we are going to talk. I'm just taking Microsoft Power BI for reference. So Power BI team is responsible to read the data from the goal layer, and they're going to create a measure. They're going to have a visualization as part of the reporting. So reporting team, once the report is completed, they're going to give it to the business users, and business users are going to see the data in the form of visualization, in the form of report. In the form of report, it is going to be there. Okay, so users can understand only report, not a numbers. So this is whatever the data is there in the goal layer is going to be rows and columns. This is also rows and columns. Everything is going to be rows and columns here. But when it comes to the reporting, it is going to visualize the data. So I just wanted to show how this Databricks is going to be there. So something like this. You see that. This is the PySpark. If you have a JSON file, then how you're going to read the data from the JSON files and how we can transform it. So transformations are going to be happened here. Transformations is going to be happened in the Databricks. So this is the Databricks. Okay. And this is the data factor in Databricks, and there is a storage also we have seen, right? Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. This is, and I'll take you through how the tools are going to be there. If you wanted to do all this stuff, then data engineers are required. I told you data transformation means it's a process of shaping or cleansing data is known as a data transformation. So once you come across with practically how we are going to do it, then you can easily understand it, how exactly it is going to be done. Okay, so what services are required if you wanted to do it Azure Data Engineering? If you wanted to do a solution, if you wanted to provide a solution for a big data, what are the services that we required? So these services are required. Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 is required. We call it as a ADLS Gen 2 also. Azure SQL Database is required. Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks. Microsoft Fabric is an optional for data engineering. I mean Azure Data Engineering and Azure Key Vault. Let me change this to Azure Data Engineering. In the same way, if you wanted to do it for Fabric, so everything under one umbrella only. everything under one umbrella. You don't need to have a individual services. So here, every service is a individual service. But when you go to the Microsoft Fabric, when you go to Fabric Data Engineering, everything will be under one umbrella. So here we required lakehouse, we required pipeline, we required notebook, we required Azure Key Vault. Key Vault is there in Azure only. This is from the Azure, but this is all in the Fabric itself. We have it. Okay, so if you go with this Fabric, we are going to have, so wherever there is a data factory, we are going to use the Microsoft Fabric, and wherever there is a Databricks, we are going to use Fabric Notebook. This one we are going to use. Wherever there is a Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, we are going to use the Lakehouse. So I'll talk about this when we have a separate module to talk about this Fabric, how we can replace that. Because of that reason, Microsoft is more and more concentrating on their own product. So why they're concentrated on the own product? Before that, we need to know about what is Apache, what is a Spark, what is Apache Spark, and what is Databricks, and what is a Fabric that we are going to discuss in the future sessions. This is not the right place to talk about it. Okay, so I just told you, we are going to provide a solution for the big data. As a data engineer, we are going to provide a solution for the big data, right? So in order to provide it, we need to have all the services. From where we are going to get these services? From where we are going to get these services? Before this modern data engineering platform, there was a Hadoop also to provide the solution for the big data. Before Hadoop, there is a traditional ETL tools like SSIS, Informatica, DataStace, and so on. Okay, so now we are there in the modern data engineering platform for doing a data processing. So before talking about them, so I wanted to take a questions, and then will go for some 5 minutes break. Lakshmi, can I take the questions?
Oh, yeah, we have questions in the chat, Bhaskar, and then
Yeah,
yeah, we can go for a short break, and then we will just do the actual practical hands-on as well.
yeah, yeah,
Can you please address the questions in the
yeah.
chat?
I'm taking that. Will you say that is at the bronze layer are performing EDA? What is that EDA? Extraction? What is that? So which data sources we are going to use this course? So this course is going to use SFTP, SQL Server. Okay, so MySQL. These three sources is much more enough. So project is done individual or in the group. In the group only we are going to do it, and you can follow and you can do it. As part of the group only we are going to do it. Do we touch base with Azure architecture, components, process before data migrate from on-premise to cloud, how migration being done as well as data level. We'll talk about that SK. This is too early to talk about it, how we are going to do it, data migrations. Is Power BI also included in this program? Yes, it is included. In the last week we have it. So what were the drawbacks of SSAS and Hadoop? I'm going to talk about it at the time of Spark introduction. So in the third week we are going to talk, I guess third or fourth week we are going to talk about it. Can you have a detailed course module? Yes, we have a course module. I think you
I
can get
Yeah,
it.
I just shared it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you're saying building ML. And we are not going to build any ML models. Okay. So that will be done by the data scientists. We are going to give a cleansed data to the downstream systems. As a data engineer, we don't build any models. Difference between Azure Data Engineering and Fabric Data Engineering, both are same. That's what I told you. 95% is very much similar. Only the different products, but the solution will be same. And we will incorporate different data sources like JSON. Yes, we are going to see JSON, CSV, Parquet, flat files, all of them practically we are going to see. Okay, so silver and bronze will be having same as like your source system, and whereas silver it will be having a cleansed data at this point of time. So I can say that we will be having a transformed shaped data in the silver, whereas in the bronze layer we are going to have a raw data. So we are going to talk about again more in detail. Is SQL Python coding heavily required or just drag and drop? So if it is a data factory and Fabric, it will be drag and drop, but SQL and Python is required. But we are not a SQL developers, we are not a Python developers, keep in mind. That means we don't need complete SQL and we don't need complete Python. So Python and SQL basics are enough. And SQL, I touched that little advanced level also as part of our training. I'm going to talk about it. So definitely we required SQL and Python, basics Python, core Python only, not like a advanced Python, because we are not going to build any applications with Python. So CI/CD will be taken care by DevOps team basically, and we are going to see CI/CD manual approach how we can do it. We are going to see. Is Power BI included in detail? This is not a Power BI course, keep in mind. This is pure data engineering, but we added in analytics is because if you have some idea, you can talk to the reporting team, you can do it. If you concentrate on the Power BI, then you are going to lose the benefits of data engineering platform. So Go layer will be aggregated data. Yes, that is true. Are we going to, that's what I told you. What level of SQL and PySpark knowledge is required for this course? You don't need to have any knowledge. You just follow with us. I will take care about it. You don't need any prior knowledge. You don't need any prior experience with this. If you have a uh, clean mind, then it is easy for me to ingest it. So you don't need to have any prior knowledge for SQL or PySpark. So business source data, raw data, why you need it file ingestion. I'll talk about it, why it is required file ingestion. You understand that in the future. Because if you wanted to go for parallelism, we required data in the Parquet files. And why Parquet is important, we are going to see that. Fabric also will be covered. CI/CD will be only manual things will be covered. Okay, so as a data engineer, we are responsible to create a working branch. We are responsible to create a PR, and once we get the approval for PRs, then we need to merge with the collaboration branch. So whatever is required for data engineers that we are going to see, CI/CD is purely related to DevOps team to bring the code from higher and lower environment to higher environment. Can we get the session recording will be there? Lakshmi will help you that. So we will build a data model in a gold layer. Yes, that is true. And which data sources are we going to use this course? I told you MySQL, SQL Server, SFTP, and with varieties of the source, varieties of the file formats like JSON, Parquet, ORC, CSV files, and so on. Yes, Power BI we have it in the in the 1 week one. We have it. We are going to see how we can build it. Okay, so please touch architecture level concepts as well before bringing source and we are not going to directly take the data. You don't worry. You are going to get it one by one. Okay, who are competitors for Azure Data Engineering as this? So competitor for Azure Data Engineering is like basically data platform. Your Microsoft Azure is the number one. Okay, so we don't have a competitors, but we are giving a more competition to Databricks. Databricks is a separate company, and Fabric, Microsoft is giving a competition from the Fabric. So Fabric versus Databricks, we can fail. Okay, and which target says we will use to incorporate cleansed data. So data scientist team is going to consume the cleansed data. Okay, in real time. Will this be a real time data or batch job? So 90% of the data we are going to have a batch data, and hardly you may have a 10% with the real streaming data. So there are many other tools are there for handling the real time data streaming. Any inputs for Snowflake? This is not a Snowflake. We are not going to touch that. Are we going to work with the Databricks? Yes, it's Azure Databricks. We are going to use it. And any
So,
certification can
so 1 minute, Bhaskar, they're
yeah,
also asking any overview on the Genie
where it is. Yeah.
AI tool.
Yeah. So we are going to see how we can use Gen AI with Azure Databricks and in Microsoft Fabric Copilot. So how we can use them to to provide the solution to speed up your work activities. Previously, we need to remember the syntaxes also. Now we don't need to remember. But do not think that at this point in the early stages, I'm not going to show you how we can use that. But eventually, at the time of working, we need to use the AI to speed up your works. Okay, so that we are going to see. Suppose I'm Azure Data Engineering. Can I work on GCP Data Engineering? You can work, but there will be slight differences. They have their own tools also, but you can work with the GCP Data Engineering also. So DP 700 is going to be covered. Uh, um, Lakshmi will give even dumps also. You can go through them before attempting the certification. How are we going to handle the real-time data? As we are going to um, data for same number of multiple times. So real-time data is the different tools we have. Event Hub is there, Spark streaming is there. There are varieties of the real-time streaming. If you have that kind of requirement, we can also do that. Advantages of Azure Databricks compared to AWS. So a data side, Azure platform is more matured. We other cloud platforms are not having the tools like Data Factory. They're not having the tools like Fabric. So they made it much more simpler when you take a Microsoft. So we cannot take a compete, especially for the data side. But infra side, there is a more competition between Microsoft and AWS. But data side, data, I mean, Microsoft Azure is the topmost. So real-time streaming, we are going to see with the Spark streaming, we are going to see how we can do it. So that will be helpful. Okay, so I answered in the chat.
Azure
So it's
Cloud, the
going,
entire sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Yeah. So it is going to be in-depth cloud basics and everything which is related to data. Again, repeating, cloud is for everyone. Cloud is for infra, cloud is for applications, cloud is for machine learning, cloud is for data engineering. So whatever is responsible as a data engineer, that we are going to see as part of this. No Kafka streaming here. We are going to see only Apache Spark streaming. Okay. So you can see that content of the course, uh,
Yeah,
what we
I
are
already
going to.
sent it to team. Yeah, that's the scope of our learning. Here and there, maybe 5% here and there we can just adjust, but we can't really bring completely new or additional content. So the PDF document will be extensively covered. Kindly turn off your camera. Okay, team, that's the attached document as we are progressing with the course. Now, just maybe small concepts here and there. Bhaskar is having real time, lot of technical knowledge, definitely yes. But if it is a big ask, so definitely we won't be able to incorporate, which is not as part of our particular training program. So this is a proven course content we have been doing for a while. We have been changing it. We have been adding more and more content. Yeah, it will continue to evolve. This is as per the market, global market standards. All right, team. So before we go to the big data introduction to the actual concept, so hope this is just the gist of the class, right? So you got the overview where exactly what exactly you will be doing, what is the data journey. So what we can do, maybe Bhaskar, I will just share the screen for the timer. I'm sharing my screen with the sound, and we'll just go for a 10-minute break. We'll just go for a 10-minute break, and then after that, we will understand more details, and we'll also, all of us will be creating the Azure Cloud account as well. And then we are going to load the data. So do we have the data for the team to download, Bhaskar? It's already there in the drive or somewhere so that we can give the link, or not there, or you can add it in the during the break. So do we have the any sample data where the team can download, Bhaskar? Are they going to do that activity today?
Let me show, then they can do it.
Yeah.
Lakshmi.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, maybe
I'll,
after the
yeah,
class. Yes. Yeah.
I'll
Sure.
upload it.
Definitely.
I'll upload it.
We can do that. Yeah. Some of you asked for the Fabric. So this is the certification. Yeah. Microsoft Fabric Data Engineer Associate directly from Microsoft. I think 150 or $160 you have to pay and sit for the exam. We already have good number of students who cleared the examination. And as Bhaskar told, so we are going to give you, let's say this batch already completed, and Azure Data Engineer, blah, blah, blah. So here you see that examination dumps. I'm going to provide all the examination dumps. Here you see 150-page document here. So these are all the previous questions and answers. So if you can practice, read, and go through with the question and answers, yeah, so that will make you confident to handle the DP 700 exam easily directly from Microsoft. And all of you are going to get the certification of completion as well from our organization. That's number two. We are going to show you the CV templates, LinkedIn, the job opportunities, whatnot. You ask maximum, whatever is in our hands, we just blindly commit and make it happen. Whatever is not in our hands, even if you want to pay high, simply we don't accept your money because it is not in our hands. Okay, team. From the beginning, we have been neat, clean, committed, and we allow the students to rejoin the second time also without any extra charges. That's why you may see a little bit more in number. Some of the students, maybe due to personal challenges, they may not be able to join the previous batch. They say, hey, Lakshmi, can I join the new batch? Yes, no questions asked. We will onboard them. Okay, team. So let's go for a 10-minute timer. I'm bringing the 10-minute timer. We'll go for a 10-minute break, and then we will understand much more.
Exam topics.
Oops.
Your boss wants you to upgrade your.
Okay, so if any of your friends are interested, bring them and let them understand other details as well. Okay, so just see you in 10 minutes, team. Pausing the recording. Right, recording resumed. Bhaskar, over to you. Thank you. Bhaskar, are you back from the break? Looks like he just went for quick. Hi, Bhaskar. Are you back? Kindly wait for a minute, team. I think maybe he might be away from the system for a quick break. I'm just calling him. Yeah,
Lakshmi, one
Bhaskar.
minute, 1 minute, Lakshmi.
Yeah, sure, sure. No problem at all. Yeah, all good. While Bhaskar is getting ready, my dear students, so what we have done is Bhaskar already uploaded. So in our folder, if you go to August 2026, so this is the week one, and in the week one, I think Bhaskar just now uploaded these things here. So I can see earlier it was not there. I think he's in the process. So he's uploading some sample data where we can download this one. How to do it, what this data means, we will understand in the class now. But these are all the reading material. So look, Azure ETL, ELT, He's going to cover all these concepts, but the reading material is also already there here. So whoever needs the access, I can give you, even if you are not registering, I can give you access to the week one, only today's class, because we are making it open. So please message me your email ID to my WhatsApp number. You already have WhatsApp number. I can add your email ID to this particular folder. Okay, team. For all the students you who made the payment, you are going to get the access to the root folder with following the access as well. Mohammed, yeah, you can message me just one more time your email ID, Mohammed. +6141251636 is my WhatsApp. Just message me and you will get, and all the emails will be from my company email ID only. Don't trust any other emails. So the email ID always it comes from info@handsonagilecoaching.com only. Okay. So that's my email, company email. Only from this email you're going to get it. Sometimes due to your settings, the email might be in the promotions. So just check it in the promotions as well, just like this. Right. And I will
Yeah.
be approving your access. Okay. All good, Bhaskar?
Yeah, I'm taking screen.
Yep.
Okay, so till now we have seen how data engineering platform is going to, how data is going to be processed right from the source system to your goal layer. Like what we are doing is we are going to do a ELT processing. As a data engineer, we are going to do ELT processing. What is that ELT processing? We have a separate discussion about it. What ETL processing and ELT processing we are going to see. So in the starting itself, I told you, as a data engineer, we are going to provide the solution for the big data. So big data means you may think only it is a massive volume of data. Even if you have a less volume of data, if data is not getting processed with your system, that data also we can treat as a big data. So I just kept the definition for understanding as a layman. The data which cannot be stored in your system is known as a big data. You have a system. If you are not able to store a data in that particular system, that particular data we call it as a big data. A data which cannot be processed in your system is also known as a big data. If you are not able to process or if you are not able to store, in both the cases we call it as a big data. So take an example. I have a laptop. Most of you having the laptop, right? My system is having 500 GB storage and 32 GB RAM. Okay, so if I wanted to store 501 GB, I cannot store it because my system cable is up to 500 GB only. So I cannot store. In that case, my data is a big data. And I have a 32 GB RAM here. If my system, there is some software, if that software is not able to process my data, that particular data also we can call it as a big data. With respect to that system, we can call it as a big data. Okay, so we cannot store more than 500 GB data. We cannot store more than 500 GB. Okay, so 501 GB data is a big data for this particular system. Okay, so let's say 100 TB is a big data for your company. But if you give the same data to Facebook or Flipkart or Amazon, those are all less volume of data. Okay, so for Facebook and all, it is going to be less data for them. For us, it is a big data. So it depends on the configuration of the system that we can say is that a big data or not. And do not think that every project people are treating that as a big data only now, because we have a varieties of the data. If you go for traditional systems to process the data, we have a traditional ETL tools like SSIS is one of the traditional ETL tool, and Informatica is a traditional tool for doing a data processing. But if you have a JSON data or if you have a unstructured data, then you cannot process with those systems. So in that particular case, that data we can call it as a big data. That means you're having a JSON files and you're having unstructured data. Okay, so let me talk about what are the varieties of the data we are having. So generally, people used to treat these three characteristics. There are other characteristics also. We don't need to know about all of them. They're all completely basics. So volume, with respect to volume, we can say that is a big data or not. If you have a massive volume of data, if that is not getting stored in your system, that we can call it as a big data. So velocity, how frequently the data is getting generated. Nowadays, every business is getting generated data is like anything. Okay, and varieties of the data. If you have a structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data, if you have all three varieties of the data, that also we can call it as a big data. Okay, so do not think that structured data and semi-structured data alone is a big data. That will be. And even if you have a only structured data with massive volume, that also we can say it is a big data. Okay, so simply many of the project solutions, I mean ETL solutions that we are providing in the modern data engineering platform. So we are keeping in mind that we are processing all the varieties of the data. We are processing only big data. Okay, so that is what I just wanted to say here. Big data means a data which cannot be stored in your system is known as a big data, or the data which cannot be processed by your system also is going to be a big data. Okay, so when I started my career with SSIS, it's a traditional ETL tool from the Microsoft itself. SQL Server Integration Services. It processes only structured data. But if I have a unstructured data or if I have a semi-structured data, I cannot process it. So then definitely you need to look forward. You need to look forward. So when this term you heard a decade ago, along with that, this Hadoop also you may come across it. So Hadoop is a platform. Hadoop is a framework to provide the solution for the big data. Now we are using modern data engineering. Now we are going to use this modern data engineering to provide the solution for the big data. Okay, so at the time of Spark introduction, I'm going to talk about this. What is this Hadoop and how? What were the limitations of the Hadoop? Why Spark came into the picture? On top of the Spark, what happened? That I'm going to talk about it. So there are multiple solutions to provide the solution for your big data. Nowadays, people are interesting more on the modern data engineering platform. There we don't need to write too many lines of the code. But if you go with this one, there are too many lines of the code you have to write it, and many ETL developers or many non-coders cannot understand this Hadoop programmings. Okay, but now it's not like that. Okay, so those are overcome. And even I tried to adapt this Hadoop, but I was not able to do it because of too many lines of the code. I was afraid of writing the code in a Java and all. Okay, so I didn't like that, so I stopped adapting that. But later, once we get the Spark into the market, so it's a very simple to adapt. Everyone like me or you, like the people who are not interested writing too many lines of the code, can easily adapt your modern data engineering platform. So that we are going to talk about it. Now, I wanted to store the data first. My first problem is storing. My first problem is data storing. Okay, so I don't need to increase the capacity. I automatically, I mean, if it is on-prem, you have to take care everything. If it is on-prem, if my system is completed storing this data, then definitely I need to increase my hardware to store the data. So if you go for on-prem, then you have to take care everything, but we are not going to take care with on-prem. We are going to take care about with the cloud platform. Okay, so how we can provide the solution for the data storage, we are going to see, and how we are going to get the solution for the data processing, we are going to see that. Okay, so we have a storage in the on-prem, we have a processing in the on-prem and cloud. Both are there. Take an example. If you go for on-prem, everything that you have to take care. Let's say I wanted to stay in a Chennai in one of the location here for doing my office work. Okay, so I'm staying in a different location, but I have a work with this particular location. I wanted to stay 1 week. To stay 1 week in this location, I don't need to buy a house. I can stay in a hotel. I can do my work. I can finish my work, and once that is completed, then I can come back. I can leave it, right? We can okay. So we can check out the hotel and we can come out of it. That means you're paying for only for 1 week. If you're staying 1 week, then you're going to pay for 1 week. So you're taking a rent. You're taking a rent for some time. But if you go for on-prem, you have to spend everything. Okay, so everything means you need to, of course, you need to buy. You need to buy hardware. You need to install softwares. You need to have a networking team, cooling system, and physical security, physical security and cyber security. Okay, electricity, power, everything that you have to take care if you go for on-prem. So there are many companies that are not ready for spending a lot of for infra. So because of that reason, the cloud came into picture. Okay, so we don't need to know about all of them because this is purely related to administrators. So I just wanted to say, to reduce the cost, people are looking towards to the cloud platform, people are looking towards to the rental. So we are taking a rent for some time. Once our work is completed, then we can return to the cloud providers. So that is what it is. Pay as you go. Okay, so I wanted to utilize the electricity power. To utilize that, are you going to build a grid? We are not going to build. We are just going to take it from the providers. Okay, so power providers, we are going to take it from there and we are going to use it. That's all. So that means you are utilizing it. Someone is providing and you're utilizing it. So that is what the cloud. The same we can apply for the cloud also. I wanted to take the storage from the cloud. Take the storage. I wanted to take a service for processing. Then take a processing service. Whatever the service for your requirement, that you can take it. From where? From the cloud providers. So there are many providers are there in the market, like Microsoft Azure, Amazon, GCP, Alibaba, and so on. So everyone is trying to make their business. Everyone trying to provide the services. So depends on the cost, we are going to choose it. If you compare with other cloud providers, Microsoft cost will be less. Okay, so even if you go for storage or processing, you just have a look on it, you feel that it is going to be less. Okay, so it started late when you compare with the Amazon. After a long time, after starting of Amazon, Microsoft Azure started the cloud platform. But now there is a lot of competition between these two. Okay, so that is briefly about the cloud platform. Why we need to go for cloud is to reduce the cost. As simple as that. You don't need to install any software. You don't need to upgrade software. Everything will be taken care by cloud only. So we are just going to consume the services. Now you know that we have two problems. How we are going to provide the solution for these two problems is we have to take the services from the cloud. We have to take the services from the cloud. There are many cloud providers are there. As part of our training, we are going to take Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Azure is the cloud, and we need to take the storage services. We need to take the processing services. As a user or as a developer, I wanted to take the storage services. I wanted to take the processing services. So those services are available in the cloud platform, Microsoft Azure. So in order to take these services from the Microsoft Azure, you required only browser, nothing more than that. Browser and internet. Browser and internet. So if you have that, then you can take it. You don't need to install anything. So you're trying to take the services from the storage services, and you're trying to take processing services. The process of taking any service from the cloud provider, we call it as a cloud computing. Through the browser, you're taking it. Through the browser, you're taking. Let me take a, like how we are going to take the services. So from where we are going to take the services is from Microsoft Azure. We have a portal called www.portal.azure.com. We can use this. So this is the store, Microsoft store, where we can get the services. Like Reliance stores, we have a stores, right, to take the groceries. Okay, so something like that. Here we have a cloud services in this particular store. So Microsoft branding their services through the Azure store. Okay, so that is what we are having here. Let's say portal.azure.com. If you want to take any service, first you need to go to the store. You need to go to the store. To go into the store, you need to have a access, right? Like account is required, like access card. To go to this store, you need to have an account. Then you can go inside the store. After going inside the store, if you want to consume any service or if you want to take any item from the store, then you require subscription. Subscription is required to buy or to consume the service. Okay, so this one to go inside. To go inside store. And subscription is required to consume the service. To consume the service. So this is a store. Okay, so this is a store, and if you want to go inside the store, you required account. Why you required? To go inside the store. Otherwise, you cannot go inside the store. After going inside the store, you can see all the items, but you cannot consume. So when you can consume? When you have a subscription. When you have a subscription, then you can consume the services. So in order to create a subscription, you required either credit card or debit card. Some banks credit debit cards also will allow to create a subscription. So without card details, you cannot create a subscription. Without card details, you cannot create a subscription. And first month it is going to be free of cost. First 1 month is a free trial. So we have two different types of subscriptions. One is free trial and paid subscription. So I'm going to show that. Okay, so if you want to buy a service, which service? Storage service I wanted to buy. I wanted to buy a processing service. Then you have to go to the store. To go to the store, you require an account. And to consume the storage service or to consume the processing services, you require a subscription. So that is what we are going to see here. So to take any service from the Microsoft Azure, we required Azure account and Azure subscription. So in order to create a Azure account, we need to create a Azure account, right? Without account, you cannot do it. So how we can do it? I'm going to show you. So let me go for incognito window, a private window I'm taking. So we need to have a Microsoft account to go into the portal, to go into the store. If you want to go inside the store directly, you need to have a Microsoft account. So do not use, if you are working, do not use a work mail ID for your educational purpose, because you are going to do many things. So that may not allow your work mail IDs, because it will go subscription there. So avoid utilizing your work mail IDs. Try to create a free accounts. So Microsoft Outlook account, we are going to create it. You don't need to pay anything for this. It's a free of cost. So the website I have given in the note also, outlook.live.com. How I'm going to create it? You just observe outlook.live.com. Now it is opened, and here you can see there is a free account. Create free account. Let me hit on it. It opens a new window. We can have a Outlook account or you can have a Hotmail account, but I recommend to go with the Outlook account. Okay, so let me say I'm just giving some name. Let me say next. So remember email address. Okay, if you don't remember, then it is going off. Now I'm just providing the password here. And remember the password also. Make next. So I'm just taking my location. Let's say next. You can provide the first name and last name. These are all simple things only. Let's say next. Just hold this one. It is going to be verified. Press and hold. Let me say next. This is not required. I'm not going to use further. Just skip for 7 days. Let's say next. Okay, let me keep that. Next. So we'll get verification code. So security keys and all is not required. You can just cancel this. Now Outlook account is created. Outlook account is created. Now let me come back to here. I just said, in order to create a Azure account, create Microsoft Outlook account. Or you can also use your Gmail account, but you can convert that into Microsoft account. But I recommend to create this one, because we are going to touch the Azure DevOps Git. DevOps Git we are going to touch for repository. Okay, so I feel there is some conflict with Gmail, but go with Outlook account. Create a Outlook account and then log in with the same details, same account details. You can log in with the Azure portal. You see here, if I go back to here, add a one new tab. I'm just taking portal.azure.com. When I hit on it, it is asking my username. So I'm just taking okay, let me type it here. Let's say next. So it will take you inside directly into the store. I'm there in the store. I can see the services by going through them, but I cannot buy anything. I cannot consume it. So if you want to consume the services, then you need to have a subscription. That is what I'm trying to say here. You logged into the portal, you logged into the store, create a subscription to consume Azure services. So credit card is required. Okay, so I'm just going to create a subscription now. You see here, I have a free trial. So it will give $200 and you can use this $200 in a month. If month is completed early or if dollars are completed early, then your subscription will be completed. Okay, so if any one of them is completed, then your trial will be completed. So I'm just going to hit on start. If it is not allowing for some credit cards or some banks will not allow to have a Azure subscription free trial. If that is the case, we can also go for pay as you go. And be careful when you are using a pay as you go. I'll tell you, if you can follow with me, whatever the services I explained, use those services only. Do not go for other services. By going through some YouTubes, if you wanted to do some practices, then there may be some dangerous service and you will get a lot of bill. Okay, so be careful when you're utilizing the service. Okay, so whatever I'm going to take you through, that you can use it. I will highlight wherever there is, I'm going to touch little expensive service, I'm going to alert. Okay, so now I'm just going to take the free trial, hit on try Azure for free. One credit card can be used only one time. You cannot use multiple times for free trials. Okay, so $200 to use in your first 30 days. Okay, so if any one of them is completed, if 1 month is completed or $200 are completed, your trial is going to be completed. Okay, so I'm just taking it as for personal use. And reason is already selected, names already selected from the Outlook account, and you can have a phone number, and you can just say next. The formal details are there in the first step. Now the second step of 3, you can have a address. You can give anything. You don't need to go complete address things. And city is Hyderabad. I'm just giving something like that. And state. Okay, check the check boxes. Okay, so here in the second page, you're providing address details and phone numbers, not phone numbers, address details only. Let's say next. The third step, you're going to get payment details. Here it is clearly saying you won't be charged unless you move to pay as you go pricing. Unless you move it as a pay as you go, it will not be charged. So that means you need to explicitly accept it. Then only it is going to start charging. Okay, so you can provide the card details, expiry details, CVV, and so on. So most of you are aware of how you can provide the payment details. Okay, so just go through this recording. I'm not doing the transaction here because my credit card is already used. Okay, so do not share your anything. Like be careful when you're doing a payments. Okay. So that is what you have to do it from your side. And then your once you hit on the sign up, then your free trial will be started. So this is about how we can set up the account and subscription in the Microsoft Azure. Now, once you have everything, then you need to log into the portal. Okay, so let me go to my portal. I'm just going to close this private window, or let it be. I'll just go here. So if you wanted to log in, then you need to go to the portal.azure.com after completion of your account. Hit on enter. So you can see how this is going to be there. So this is the Microsoft store. Everyone has to come and buy the services from here only. Everyone has to come here. They will set up the services here. Okay, so which services you need? Basically, like they categorize the services, varieties of the services. We don't need, there are hundreds of services. Hardly you may touch 5 services as part of data engineering. Okay, so the way I'm going to do it, you can just concentrate in that same approach. So we have a 2 set of services that we are going to touch. One is data storage services we are going to touch. And second is data processing services. So data storage is just 10% of our journey. If you take 100% data engineering journey, out of this 100, you are going to spend only 10% with the storage. Rest of everything is going to be data processing only. So data processing is the major thing. But data storage also is important. How we are going to provide the service for the storage. So I'm going to talk about the first data storage, followed by data processing. If I wanted to store the data, you can store the data in the form of file system. You can store the data in the host, I mean in the system you can store it, right? In the system you can store the data, or in the database also you can store the data. You can store the data in the database also. Okay, so if you store the data in the system, you can store the data in the form of files. If it is a database, you can store the data in the form of tables. Okay, so you can store the data in the form of tables, and you can store the data in the form of files. That is what the storage basically, if you take any system. Okay, so if you take my system, you can store the data. You can store the data in the form of files. You can store the files, whatever the files you wanted to store it. If you have a database, I can store the data in the form of database also. I mean, in the form of tables. Okay, so here I'm saying file system. The file system contains only files. A database contains tables. Okay, so when you go for data engineering, the high priority is for the files. Very high priority. Very high priority is the files. Okay, files are faster than your databases. Okay, so I'll correct this statement. Okay, so just keep in mind why this modern data engineering platform or Hadoop ecosystem keeps the data in the form of files, because files improves the performance. So what type of file is important again? Okay, you may come across the CSV files, not a CSV files. You may come across JSON files, not JSON files. Okay, so for a couple of years back till that, we have a Parquet, now Delta. These are all the file formats. Delta format, Parquet format is going to give very huge performance when you compare with JSON, CSV, tables, and so on. Okay, so file system in our journey, when I say here, landing is a file system. Here I'm saying a table, but behind the scene, it is going to be file only. It is going to be Parquet files only. In all the way, you're going to have a files. So file system storage is important. So that we are going to see how we are going to handle it. And database is also is required, but I use this Azure database very starting of my data engineering. That point of time, there was no architect. Okay, I was not aware of much more. So we used Azure SQL Server as a data warehouse. Okay, that was not where we were not using Databricks, but we are using only Data Factory and stored procedures and all. So that time I just use that, but that's not the best practice to do it. Then where you are going to use the Azure SQL Database. So there is a chances to have a metadata database. Metadata database. So in my current project, we are using Azure SQL Database for metadata, not for actual data. Your actual data can be there in the file system. So we are going to talk about it. So how we are going to use these two different systems or two different services from the Microsoft Azure, we are going to see that. Now, if I wanted to store the data, then storage account service is required. This is one service. If I wanted to store the data in the form of tables, then I required Azure SQL Database service. So where you can find this service? If we come to the portal, so here we have a global search. You can search any service here. I need a storage accounts. You can see storage. When you search it, you can see it is coming. Storage accounts is a service. Azure SQL Database. Azure SQL Database is a service. You see that. Data Factories is a service. Databricks is a service. So everything is a service here. Everything is a service. So in order to store the data in the form of file, I require the storage account service. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the storage accounts now. If you want to take any service, the very first step, what you have to do is, if you want to take any service, first you need to create a resource group. Resource group need to be created. Who is going to create? Data engineers? Your answer is no. Data engineers are not responsible for setting up any service in the Microsoft Azure. We are going to have an infra team. Infra or admin team. So they are responsible to set up the environment for data engineering. So no data engineer comes into this portal, no data engineer comes and create any service here. We are not responsible for that. But this particular session, we have to do our practice by ourselves. So I'm going to touch few infra activities also. So that will help you eventually, but we are not responsible for them. Otherwise, we cannot do your practice. So we need to set up our environment by ourselves. So that I'm going to show you how we can do it. So storage account creation is not the data engineering responsibility. That is purely related to Azure administrators, or we call them as a infra team or admin team. Now I wanted to create a resource group. You can search for resource group. Resource groups. Hit on it. There are many resource groups I'm having. I'm just going to create a new resource group. Plus create. What is this resource group? No one will ask you because we are not responsible for this. Just for understanding, I'm saying this. A resource group is a container. It's a bucket. It's a container that holds related resources of an Azure solution. You're trying to provide the solution for the big data. All related services of big data you can keep in the resource group. Generally, we are going to have three varieties of the resource groups. I mean, three different resource groups. One is for dev, test, and prod. We are going to do only in this place. We never touch this one. We never touch this one. We're always going to use the dev resource group. Now I'm just going to create a one resource group here. Why we are creating a resource group? To keep my all big data related services into one bucket. So it is easy for billing. If you have too many projects, too many projects if you're handling, how do you know which project is getting more bill, which project is getting less bill? If you have a resource group, then it will be categorized. This will be categorized. So I'm just creating a resource group here. So I'm just giving some name for this resource group. All the characters just keep in lowercase characters with hyphen. And reason I'm taking Central India. And you don't need to do anything. It's just container. It's a bucket. Let's review plus create. So this is the first service that you're going to create before creating any storage services or processing services. You're not going to be charged for this. Refresh this. Where is this? August. Yeah. Now I'm just opening this. I don't have anything inside the resource group. I don't have anything in the resource group. So what you're trying to do here, I am trying to create a storage account service. Why you're trying to create the storage account service is to store the data. So the storage accounts is a service. Storage accounts is a service. So let me go to my search again. You can search for storage accounts. Now I'm trying to take a storage accounts. Hit on it. Plus create. Resource group, you need to take it. You need to take appropriate resource group. Appropriate resource group I'm taking. These steps are completely related to administrators. And I'm giving a storage account name. Bhaskar, HSC, ADLS, August. I'm just giving some name. So no spaces, no numbers, no special characters will be allowed for storage account name. This is the name of the storage account. So what we are going to do with this storage accounts is, it is used to store the data in the form of file system. We are trying to create a storage account. What is the name of the storage account? This is the name of the storage account. This is the name of the storage account. Okay, so storage account you are using for what? To store the data in the form of file system. We can store massive volume of data in the storage accounts. We can store varieties of the data like structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. How we are going to have that, I'm going to show you practically. You can understand it. So by using the storage accounts, you can create it's a service. Storage accounts is a service. By using this service, we can create two accounts. One is blob account, another is ADLS Gen 2 account. So you can see this diagram that says about it. Storage accounts is a service. By using this service, you can create a blob account and you can create a ADLS Gen 2 account. So blob account is for general purpose storage. If you wanted to do some backup, create a blob account. If you wanted to do big data processing, for big data processing, we are going to use Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 only. What we are going to use? We are going to use Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 only for big data processing. So this part is not our part because storage can be used by anyone in the market. But Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 is specifically designed for big data engineers, for big data processing. If you don't want to process it, you can keep the data here. If you want to process the data, then you have to keep it here. Okay, so I just said to store the data, we need to take a storage account service with Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. We already done that. So take the service to take the service or any service, we require subscription. Now I'm trying to take the service here. Which service it is? Storage accounts. So if I wanted to take the service, you require a subscription. Without subscription, you cannot take the service. I already told you, if you want to consume any service, you require a subscription. Either it is a free trial or paid subscription. In my case, I have a paid subscription. I'm taking that. And resource group is required. Without resource group, you cannot take any service. So subscription is required. Resource group is required. Region is required. From which region you are taking the storage? Because Microsoft Azure is having various regions with varieties of data centers. I mean, with various data centers we have it. So I'm taking from my nearest location. My nearest location is Central India. So I'm just taking Central India is the storage location. So region also is required. And then resource details are required. Service details are required. So service details is like name of storage account is a service detail. Primary service. What is the primary service? Azure Blob Storage or Azure Data Lake Storage. Both we can choose it in the primary service. But how can you decide that is the Blob account or Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 account? Give me a minute. So we have chosen the Blob account and ADLS Gen 2 account. You can see here. In this place, I have a Blob storage is there and Azure Data Lake storage is there. But how can you decide which one it is? So in this particular basic window is not going to be possible to say that is a ADLS Gen 2 or Blob account. In the next step, we can do it. The redundancy I'm taking local redundant. Okay, so you don't need to know as a data engineer. The files, like if you have a employee.csv, if you're uploading this file is going to be available in three. When I say local redundant, within the local data center, within the region, the local region is this one, Central India. Within the Central India, within the same data center, you can have a 3 copies of the file. So what happens if you have a single laptop, for example? You have a laptop. Okay, so you store this file. You store this file in the laptop. For some reason, the laptop is corrupted. Then you are going to lose the data. If you have a same file in the external disk, if you have a same file here, even if the laptop is corrupted, still your data is available here. Backup. Okay, it is a backup, something like that. Here also, it is going to maintain 3 copies by default. 3 copies in the same data centers with the different racks. You don't need to go into that detail because we are not responsible for it. Okay, so I'm just taking LRS here for reducing the cost. Let me go to the next. In the next, you have to check this checkbox. Enable hierarchical namespace. If you don't check this checkbox, your storage account is a blob account. If you don't check checkbox, if you don't check the checkbox, then it is going to be blob account. If you check this, then it is a ADLS Gen 2 account. So we are creating a Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. We are creating a Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 for what? For big data processing. So I'm just going to check the checkbox. Okay, so let me hit on. You don't need to go for other options because we are not responsible as a data engineers. So this is enough for setting up your storage account. So why we need to have a storage account? If you remember in the diagram, we have seen that. So we are landing the data in where? In Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Here, bronze is also there in Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Silver, gold, everything is going to be there in the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So because of that reason, we required Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So let me review plus create. Let me hit on create. Takes around a minute or less than a minute to set up it. Now I wanted to go to my resource. Resource is what? Your service. Which service? Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. When I hit on it, it will go into my storage account. So this is my storage account. Okay, so in the left side, we have a options here. Okay, let me come back to here. Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, we created. If you wanted to store the data, you cannot store directly. You need to have a directory, container. Like your system is going to have a directory. So this is a root directory. I have a 3 root directories. This is one root directory, this is another root directory, and this is another root directory. In the same way here, we need to have a root directory. That root directory, we call it as a container in the Azure naming standards. I'm going to create a directory called, let's expand the data storage. You can see in the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 also, we can store the data in the containers. We can have a quiz, we can have a tables, we can have a file sets. These are not for the data engineers, so you can simply ignore them. So we are going to use containers. So let me hit on containers. We need to create a container. I gave the name of the container, here is data files. Add container. The name of the container is data files. Name of the container is data files. Hit on create. Now let's go inside the data files. Inside the data files, inside the root directory, you can create a directory, right? Okay, you can have a directory. You can create a folder. The same way here also I'm just going to create a folder. That we call it as a directory here. Add directory. I wanted to give a directory name called input. And I add one more directory. I wanted to add one more directory, that is output directory. So when we talk about Azure Data Factory, I'm going to take the data from the input to the data factory and output will come, right? That output I'm going to store in the output directory. Input is for data factory, and output is going to store in the output directory of your Azure Data Factory. So for that reason, I'm just giving the naming standards like that. You see here. I created a directory, named it as the input, created one more directory, that is output directories. So that we are going to see. In the input directory, I wanted to store the data. Let me go inside the input directory. So I'm going to access this. I'm going to set up my input by ourselves. We have to do our setup because you wanted to learn, you wanted to practice. Then you should prepare the input and then you can give it to someone, ADF or ADB. So output will be given by this. You don't worry about it. Depends on the logic, output will come. But input you have to prepare. So for educational purpose, I'm going to set up my input manually. But at the time of project, we are going to see how we can get it by process. So since we are in the learning stage, I just wanted to upload the file manually. All three varieties of the data I'm going to touch. The first data I'm going to take structured data. So structured data means fixed number of columns. 100% there will be fixed number of columns. If there is a fixed number of columns, then we can say it is a structured data. Like we have a databases, CSV files, tab separated files, and so on. Okay, so let me upload the file and show you. Upload. Browse the file. Employee.csv I'm taking. The same file is uploaded in the drive. You can download it. So this is just basic test how we are going to do it. The major activities is going to start from the data processing. Now, if you open this file, I have a fixed number of columns. For every row, fixed number of columns. You see that. So this data is a structured data. Number of columns are not going to change for the rows. If you take any row, the number of columns are fixed. So this kind of data, we call it as a structured data. So that is what I'm just saying here. Structured data. And semi-structured data. No fixed schema. This is a fixed number of columns, and here no fixed number of columns. Varying number of columns, we are going to have it. Example for this is NoSQL databases like Cassandra, PostgreSQL. There are many NoSQL databases. So JSON files, XML files, YAML files. This all comes under semi-structured data. Let me upload one more file which is having semi-structured data. Employee.json I'm taking. You open this file. I can take out these 3 columns. I can save it. So that is possible here. But you cannot remove the columns for a specific row in the CSV files, in the JSON files, because they are going to have a data something like this. So first row is having 5 columns, or the second row is having 9 columns, I guess, 8 columns total. The first row is having 5 columns, and here I am having 8 columns. So that means varying number of columns for the rows. No fixed schema. So if there is no fixed schema, we can say it is a semi-structured data. Unstructured data, no schema at all. So that is going to be unstructured data, like a plain text, feedback, messages, audios and videos. Those are all comes under unstructured data. But as a data engineer, you are going to process only text. Okay, so text will be there in the feedback, messages, and plain text, emails. All those things are going to have a characters, not like a audio and video. Okay, so let me upload one more file here. Let's upload it. So this is a plain text, no column names, no structure, not even semi. So this kind of data only we are going to process. Okay, so there's three varieties of the data we have it here: structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So we are going to handle all three varieties of the data as part of our journey. Okay, so I'm stopping here. The rest of the things I'll take care in the next week. So let me take the questions from the chat. Can we do other certifications? Yes, we can do other certifications also. Lakshmi said few details. Okay, I hope you are able to hear, right? I think I didn't see that.
Yeah, actually, one of the student, I think Kunbi or someone, she's not having headset, so she was
Okay.
requesting for, if you raise your volume, I mean, like the if you raise your talking, yeah, that will be better. Mm-hmm. Maybe you have to speak a bit louder,
Okay. Okay.
Bhaskar. Maybe from next class, you can see that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. So velocity means how data is going to be generated, how frequently data is going to be generated is known as a velocity. Okay, so you don't need to know about all of them. That is the just basic characteristics of the big data. And drawbacks of SSIS and Hadoop, I'm going to come across that at the time of Spark introduction. So what happens after 30 days, your trial will be completed. Then you have to upgrade your subscription. Okay, so I have paid Microsoft account already. If you're already having a paid subscription, then you don't need to create it. You can use the existed one. Okay, so portal.azure already Lakshmi said those details. Can you come again? What is the resource group? Resource group is a bucket or container to keep our items, like a trolley. Like if you go to inside the store, if you want to buy, if you want to take the items, we have a basket or we have a trolley to collect all the items. So something like that. So what does it mean by you do not have a permission? So I think that is not having a permission. I mean, maybe you're using workmail ID or someone else account. If they give a permission to create it, then you can create a resource group. Otherwise, you cannot create it. So what is the difference between Blob and ADLS Gen 2? Blob is for general purpose storage, and Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 is designed for big data processing. How do you change to Blob account to ADLS Gen 2 account? I'll show you that. There is a one checkbox. How do you step by step besides video? How do you do this? After completion of this, just go through the recording and you can do that. Okay. Recording will be uploaded after 2 to 3 hours. What type of patterns we are using general in data engineering? So file patterns mostly JSON, CSV, Parquet. We are going to have all the varieties. I'm just taking apart from the certification details because Lakshmi is already gave the details for them. So data engineering is for data processing and Snowflake is for data storage basically. So Snowflake is out of the boundary for us. So blob storage, to change that, it is not a big deal. It is very simple, just one click away. What is the Parquet file? We'll talk about it. We are going to see very soon. I mean, in the next week, I'll talk about it. Can I get the interview questions? Yes, you can get it. So if your subscription is over, then you need to take a paid subscription. You can take that. Do you need to have a separate Fabric subscription? You don't worry about the Fabric at this point of time. Fabric is completely free of cost. You don't need to pay anything. This is not about the Snowflake. It is purely related to Azure Data Engineering platform. Parquet Delta files, we are going to talk about it. Okay, so Lakshmi, can you take a couple of minutes? I'll come back.
Yeah, sure, Bhaskar. Yeah, sure. I'm there. I'm there. Yeah.
Taking my tea. My tea is getting cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. No problem at all. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so Bhaskar will be here. He will be back in 2-3 minutes. Meanwhile, maybe I'll share my screen, team. So whoever requested access, I approved. I gave the access. So all the drive will be. Oh, somebody gave the wrong one. So here from this folder, so we have the reading material is there. The employee Parquet file, JSON file, CSV file. These files are there. You can download these files. You are going to create your Azure account. To be honest, we haven't done much any complicated task here. So we try to understand the role of the Azure Data Engineer and what is the purpose of the cloud and what kind of different storage services are there. Why do we need subscription and how we can create our own subscription and how we can load the data files into the cloud. Those simple steps we have done. And from next week, the things are going to be at next level. So don't think that all the classes are going to be that easy and simple. So it's going to be as we progress it, things if you just see the August, May, maybe I think June 2026, the current batch going on. So here you're going to Azure SQL Database. So we are going to understand more about this one. So Bhaskar is going to next week. I think he will be introducing the Azure Data Factory. So what is the ADF? What are all the building blocks of the ADFs? And we are going to add all the stuff. So we are going to understand the Azure Data Factory, and then you can see here copying multiple files, copying single file to the multiple files, and ADF mini project. I think somewhere I added the mini project in the YouTube in case if any of you, some of you are very new, right? So let me give this one. I mean, too early, like whoever has registered, you're going to get a complete from the basic, but who are very new, just if you want to get the feel of the mini project, so you can just directly, it is there available on the YouTube. Okay, mini project real time. Yeah, this is the one. Sorry, here. So that's the mini project from the ADF and then everything. So you can watch it. Okay, team. So we are going to go like this after ADF, and then we cover. He's going to cover the SQLs and Pythons. Then we move to the Databricks. So like that, we are going to progress. So from next week, the classes are going to be on Saturday, the same timing. So the classes are going to be Saturday and Sunday. So what are the times you're going to join? The same time. The people who are joining from USA and Canada, it is 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a New York time. And 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's Texas. Okay, the people from USA. So those who are joining from UK, so the class is going to be 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Right now your time is 1:30 p.m. Yeah, for people from India who are joining, so the class as usual it starts at 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. So as promised, the classes are approximately 2.5 hours. Okay, but with the number of question and answers and everything, maybe just safely reserve 3 hours. But the class duration is 2.5 hours. So people from Sydney, so it's going to be 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Okay, so 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. So you can see my time here. Right now it is 10:36. Okay, team. So this is the same timing. And from next week, I'm going to email you new Zoom link. And that Zoom link is going to be only for the paid students. And we are going to continue using that Zoom link till end of the class, end of the session. So we are starting the class today, and the classes will be completing by end of September. Right? So we have 2nd of August, and it goes until 27th of September. And I was also talking to Bhaskar, like maybe we may need extra one more day. We don't know. Just we'll see how we progress. So just to be on safe side, reserve for extra one more day towards the last weekend. Okay, because we have to cover all those things, and towards the end, we are going to support with the CV, LinkedIn. And then you're going to start applying for the job. How do you restructure the CV based on your background? We will be guiding you. I will be preparing the CVs and everything, and we'll make it ATS friendly. We have the AI models as well. So we are going to make use of AI models. Then we can with the updated CV, we are going to apply for the jobs. So we just go here and just say Azure Data Engineer, Azure Data Engineer, and then we just say Australia, and we go for all this data engineer. For example, tenants. So here 700 to 900 daily. So yeah, Azure Foundry, all this stuff. Yeah, and similarly, people from India. So we have Naukri there. So these are all the Azure Data Engineer jobs. You can see Azure Data Engineer. People from US, you can go to DICE. So you can just say DICE and then Azure Data Engineer jobs. So I will be emailing you all these portals towards the end. Azure Data Engineer jobs. This is DICE. So you have 15,000 jobs. You can see all this, all are Azure Data Engineer. Some of you who are very new, like this entry level. So this is an entry level job. Okay. Just pay will be very less. And then here also they are asking about the basic knowledge of Azure Data Factory, ADLS. Today only we introduce some terms, right? Databricks, SQL, Python, ETL, problem solving. Yeah, everything is we are covering here. So you guys are going to apply, and the remote jobs also there, Azure Data Engineer, remote jobs. And most of the job descriptions will be the same thing what we are covering. This Azure Database, data lakes, so experience designing, experience with the Databricks, CI/CD, SQL, query performance, same thing. All the stuff is there in our curriculum, right? All these things. So we have the Fabric, Python, Spark, all the stuff will be covered. So in US, people from Australia, so you can just go there to the Seek, and then yeah, so this is the portal for students from Australia. So you can go and then just start looking for towards the end, not now. So you can see the salary range: Databricks 120 to 150K, data engineer, Melbourne, Richmond, Red Energy. You can see the salary range as well, and you can also quickly scan what they're asking for. Senior data engineer, 2 positions. Lot of federal government also, you see here, federal government jobs. They will be asking for any security clearance, mostly for the citizens. But lot of organizations, they are going for the cloud migration. You see here around the data migration, which is going to be our project. Oops, why it's jumping. And the data, just 1 minute. Yeah, data pipelines, department analytics, designing, implementation, understanding the integration. So just 1 minute, team. Just 1 minute. Someone knocking the door. Just a second. Okay, so these are all the jobs that we can go for. Here you see. 700 to 900. This is a recruitment consultancy. They are asking about the Python, PySpark, Azure services. Okay. So here you see multiple data engineers for federal government, Python and ETL, Azure focused, same stuff. SQL, Python, ETL, ELT, Azure Cloud. Okay. So hope all of you joined our Telegram. In case if any of you recently joined, I'm just inviting you. It's absolutely free of cost. And I'm the admin. I don't entertain any junk. So it's all about free webinars, tech news, and everything. And next week we will be doing one class on that's a off note, yeah. Separate one on the cyber security, and another one we will be doing it on the Azure AI, sorry, AI models, not Azure AI models. AI model, how do you build the models? How do you bring the automation? So we have a lot of things there in the pipeline. Okay, team. Where is, oh, yeah. Okay, this is the Telegram. Okay. Uh, yeah, Bhaskar, 1 minute. Yeah. Interview preparation towards the end. Yeah, we have to understand the concepts first, and then interview preparation. Do you still go number of hours after the? Yeah, and she'll definitely. We will be giving the certification of completions. Some people they work as an intern in our organization, so we give that letter of internship as well. Okay, cool. So Bhaskar is back, and we are happy. What I will do is we will uh, we will give the opportunity to ask questions. I want all of you in the Zoom. Let us follow the discipline. Okay, I know because it's a first class, and many of you might be having questions that you want to ask. We are happy to answer all of them, but please, there is an option to raise your hand in the Zoom. So I'm just unmuting all of you, but please raise your hand. We'll go one by one. Okay, team. Mute. Allow the people to unmute. Yes. We'll go one by one. There is an option in the Zoom where you can raise your hand and then you can ask your question. Yeah, Helen. Hi, Helen. Go ahead.
Hi.
Yes.
Is there step by step on creating registering for Azure for the Azure platform? Because I tried to do it while we were online and I could not get in,
You
like
can't
register.
get it.
I have
It
an
will be very
application.
difficult, Helen. Yeah. No, what I said is that's the reason I clearly mentioned intention is not you guys to do the step while class is going on because it will be very difficult. You will be missing a lot of stuff because sometimes each option may take 1 minute to create. By that time you create, Bhaskar will be on that second or third step. So it won't be possible. So we have to watch the recording step by step, follow the recording, and practice the steps as is. Not only in this class, going forward also the same approach. So the expectation is we will be having the live classes on the weekends, and from Monday to Friday, you will watch the recording and you will practice all those steps during the entire week. You ask questions in the WhatsApp group. Somebody will be helping you in case if you are struggling, Helen. The recording will be uploaded
Thank you.
recording will be uploaded by your evening time. So we have time till next Friday. So before Friday, all of you are going to create the account and get ready. Okay, Helen?
Thank you. But can I suggest if you could
Yes,
make a
yeah, of
step
course,
by
yeah.
step
Please. Okay.
for
Mm-hmm.
us?
I
I
think
think
he
you
went.
can.
I think he went step by step. He didn't missed or skipped. You
No,
felt
I
anything
mean
is missing?
document.
Oh,
Document.
the
Yeah,
document.
create a document. Yeah, for us.
Right.
That would be
Um,
better.
I'll see if Bhaskar, do you think that we can create a document around that one?
You mean for creation, you're saying?
Azure account creation. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we'll do that. For
yeah,
creation, I'll do that.
yeah. Sure. Thank you,
Yeah.
Damaskar. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Dhananjay.
Yeah, hi. Hi,
Hi.
I'm Ranjay from India. So, thanks for the wonderful session, Bhaskar. So one doubt I have. So do you have any study material like document to refer initially? Like I know that we can watch the video, but document in general to refer how
We are
the how it goes and all the family like the hierarchy like how it goes from one step to another. You had explained the diagram also, but if we can get the material for it to read, it would be great.
Yeah, so that material, whatever I have shown in the session, that will be available in the drive. That is one thing. Another thing is like if you wanted to know little more in theoretical, then we can have a Microsoft help document. I'll keep that Microsoft help document for each one so that you can have a look on it.
Okay, okay. And as of now, we need to create just that storage account, right?
Yes, yes. Only storage account.
Storage account. Okay.
Yeah.
It will be valid. So every day once we use it, we need to, you know, disable it.
No, not required. Storage account. Storage is not more cost. It is very, very negligible cost. So we don't need to remove it. So when I touch any service which is expensive, I'll make sure I will highlight before talking about it.
Yeah, yeah. Kindly guide accordingly because then
Yeah, yeah,
if
definitely,
that
definitely.
service is expired, then again we need to
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
subscribe it. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll help you on that.
Thank you.
Kumar, you can ask.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Bhaskar. Okay, I am the one who raised on the real-time part. So, in general, I mean, in real-time projects, okay, how the data engineer works, I mean, daily, whatever the data we are getting it, I mean, for example, if the data is getting loaded for them, if you take as an Amazon customer,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they will do a kind of purchase and the address, all the details will be available, and we'll have a different databases. Okay, I mean, not a databases, we'll have a kind of core systems like for address, they'll use one MDM system. Okay, like that we will have it. Okay,
Yeah,
different
yeah,
system.
yeah.
So, are we going to utilize that data for the data engineering? I mean, we'll do I mean, how we are going to do it here?
Like we are going to take three different source systems as part of our journey, like MySQL and SQL Server and SFTP. So
Okay.
connection, once the connection is established between the source system and our data factory, then you can bring it from anywhere. That may
Okay.
be Salesforce, that may be CRM systems or any system. We can bring it. So only thing is how we made a connectivity is important. Once connection is established, you can take it from anywhere. So we are going to talk about the building blocks of data factory, how we are going to set up connectivity between the data factory and other source systems. So that will help you. Even eventually, if you are getting a new source which is not come across in your entire experience, still you can
Okay.
work it because just connectivity only. Connection is completely user interface, so we can bring it from anywhere.
Okay, and one more thing here is, see, when it comes to the application perspective, okay, in general, application development means, okay, this application development, I mean, we'll build an application and we'll give it to the consumers to fill their data and we'll do all those kind of things. Okay, when it comes to the data engineering on the business, it is
Mm-hmm.
purely for the business purpose to view, or is it a kind of a consumer facing this thing?
Not consumer facing, majoritarily on business side, not for the customers.
Okay, so based on the data engineering, so it will be a kind of helpful for the business.
Yes,
How can we improve and where can
yes,
we
yes,
minimize the budget? I mean, the costs and all those things.
exactly.
It will
You're
be
right.
helpful.
Yes,
Am I
you're
right?
right. For every business, business analysis is important to grow in their business, like a quarter
Yeah.
by quarter or month by month. They will be having budgets, they will be having many things, right? So those
Yeah.
decisions, if they wanted to take, then they need to have a business information.
Okay, I have one more question. Sorry if I'm taking more time. Sorry for that. Okay, just I have one more question here. Okay, when you data engineering and data analyst and data scientist. Okay, total three different type of
Roles.
roles everyone is
Yes,
calling. Am I right?
yes.
So, okay. data engineering in the sense, okay, what are the data we are going to get, and we'll get load into the reporting tables or whatever it may be. Am I right? It's a kind of
Yes,
a purely
yes,
developer role.
yes, yes, you're right.
Okay, and then when it comes to the data analytics and data scientist, what is the main difference between these two?
So basically, data engineers talks about the past data, already
Okay,
processed. Okay, past. When you go for
okay,
data sciences, they will look for future. They will take some sample data. They will what I can say. They will predict the future, how it is going to be happen. So that
okay,
is about the data scientist.
okay. Based on
And
this only, the budgets
yeah,
will be
yeah,
considered on
based
the.
on the
Oh,
past data, they will predict the future.
okay,
Okay, so and if you go for reporting team, I mean data analyst, they will create a report for the business. Business understand only visualization.
okay.
Okay, so
So
for
that
that
means,
reporting team,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, so they will create a visualization, and we are going to give the data to the reporting team and data scientist team.
Okay, so what are the thing we are talking about, that I mean Power BI part? Okay, everything goes under the data analytics
Yes,
part.
yes, yeah, right.
Okay, okay, okay. Then fine. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Bas- Thank.
Someone joined with the name SA, so there is no full name displayed. SA.
Hi, my name is Abhishek.
Abhishek, yeah, go ahead.
So, my question is like, I have created initially a free account, and but now the subscription is over. So, how much I need to take the subscription to do this kind of practice throughout this course?
You can convert that free trial to paid subscription, and you can start utilizing it. This will not cost even $1 per month, not even $1.
Okay,
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 so
okay,
even when the database comes, there is a slightly increase your cost, but orally, if you do practice based on my instructions, I'm sure you will not get more than $10 to $20.
okay, okay. Fine, fine, fine. And my other question is related to this Python. So basically, I'm from Microsoft SQL Server background,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, I'm working on a MDM project from the last 8 years. So,
Mm-hmm.
how much Python I need to learn to get this?
Python, yeah, Python basically core Python like a variable declaration, loops. Okay, so there is a different types of data types. So those things only is much more enough. We don't need to go for too many things in the Python. Only because in when we talk about the PySpark framework, so where we required how we can define the variables, if statements, I mean conditional statements, data types conversions, very basic only, not much more details from the Python.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Thanks, Park.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dhanjay, we answered or no? Not yet.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
You answered initially. Only thing, what doubt I have is, Bhaskar,
Mhm.
whenever we are like, let's say we are completing the course, initially we have to apply for entry level job.
Not like entry level, depends on your experience. We can
Uh-huh.
attempt it. So this particular training is going to help you to keep even 5 years of data engineering experience. You can keep it.
Oh,
If
okay,
you're
okay. That,
that level, I'm going to explain, and you can work alone also.
yeah, okay, okay. That only I wanted to ask because there shouldn't be any person who should be training in company. This training would be sufficient to directly work in the company,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. You can talk to them easily. You can take the requirement. You can understand, and you can
Okay.
start doing it.
And process the requirement.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thanks, thanks.
So, Bhaskar, what's the agenda for next week?
So
If
next
you
week,
can you share the screen and then just quickly just walk through so that our students come prepared,
yeah.
and we will also upload the reading material so that you guys can read and come prepared for the class. Thank you.
So mostly next week we are going to see storage account. I mean, we have created it, but how we can access it? Like from the portal, there is a very less chances to access it. Okay, so accessing this like from Let me take this. Okay, let me show you here itself. Like I'm going to talk about what is monolithic approach and distributed approach. Why the modern data engineering or from Hadoop onwards, we came across a distributed approach. So what is monolithic and distributed approach? We are going to talk about it. And we are going to talk about the Parquet file format. Why Parquet file format is important than the CSV format. We are going to talk. And accessing your Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 from outside. So not from the portal. We have seen it from the portal to upload the file, to open the file and see. But out of this portal, generally 90% is every data engineer is not going to have access to the portal. We are not going to have access to the portal. Only if the person is having little more experience and if he is also doing some additional admin activities, they may give a access. Otherwise, they don't give a, I mean, admin team is not going to give access to the portal directly. So you need to access the storage from outside. So how we can access it from the outside in real time, why we need to access it, what are the benefits that we are having, and that I'm going to take with one use case. In my experience, I came across it. And then later that we are going to start talking about Azure SQL Database. Okay, so in Azure SQL Database, how we can set up Azure SQL Database in Azure platform, what are the different pricing tiers we have, like basic, standard, premium, different kind of pricing tiers. And we are going to talk about SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, why and how we can connect your Azure SQL servers, that we are going to see. And then we are going to start talking about OLTP differences, OLTP and OLAP system differences. I mean, what is OLTP system and what is OLAP system? We are going to talk. An ETL introduction. After up to here, the storage part. So once storage part is completed, then we are going to start talking about the processing. So in the processing, we are going to start talking about ETL introduction or ELT introduction, and then Azure introduction, the building blocks of data factory, the building blocks of data factory. Okay, so we have a different kind of building blocks. Like we have a link services, we have a data sets, we have a pipeline. The very starting, we are going to talk about link integration runtimes. Activity, trigger. So these are all the building blocks when you go for any development that you're going to do it. So in the next week, we are going to see them. So we are going to have a more practice when the data factory started. Okay. So that we are going to see in the next week.
Thank you, Bhaskar.
Thank
Rohit?
Hi, Bhaskar. So I have experience as a ETL developer and lead. So how do I convert myself into the data engineering roles? Because I know I have to showcase some experience, working experience on the as a data engineer. So how would I be able to convert that?
Okay, understand. Like that is much more easier, even like you already having ETL experience. And last 3 years, you can show that as a Azure data engineering experience. So no companies knows which tools you worked, right? You worked or not is important. Okay, so you can say that experience, last 3 years of experience with Azure data engineering platform once we complete the course. Okay, you got my point, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I just need to say that, I mean, I worked on the Azure side of things, right?
Yes, yes. So
Rather
once you
than
complete
on
that, then you will get that exposure, how you can talk about it. Even me also, my career was started with traditional ETL tool. So we also came across that, right? So definitely everyone has to migrate from traditional to modern data engineering platform. And you can show that experience with data engineering. The
Sure,
way you
thank you.
talk about the terminologies, the way you talk your approach, they feel you're already having experience on data engineering. They don't feel
Yeah,
you're not having.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rohit.
And sorry, Bhaskar, I have one more question. Sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
this. I mean, for the data engineering, so okay, for this one also, do we have any kind of development and production roles as well, or
Production
is it
roles also will be there. Like if there is a pure run and maintenance, we are
okay?
going to do that. So in my project, like we categorized into few members into different teams under the same
Okay,
umbrella. So one team, there is a 3 members of the team. So those 3 people will take care about only run and maintenance. They don't do the development. Only
okay,
they will, if there is any failed job, they will restart, and if there is anything, they will communicate with other teams. So they will make
okay.
sure the processing is up and running. Will
Yeah,
be
I
there.
mean it's a kind of purely kind of there won't be any non-technical thing like just okay analysis and doing it. I mean
No, it's a technical
reporting.
only. It's a technical only. But only thing
Okay,
is, if they can fix that bug, I mean, fixing means they rerun it.
yeah,
If it is not possible to do it, they will connect with appropriate person from the team, and they will
okay.
intimate so and so reason this job is getting failed. Can you look into that? So that
Oh,
kind of role is a support role. It's not
yeah.
like a different kind of support. It's a technical support only.
Okay,
But
okay.
I
Yeah,
don't like
thanks.
to work that kind of things. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no, no.
always,
Just
yeah,
I am asking. Okay, because see, here what we are doing is we are getting the data and we are giving it to the business and the reporting. Am
yes,
I right? So, do we have any scope for that one or no? Just it's a purely, I mean, both the things should be done by the developer only. That's what
yes,
that is
yes,
it.
yes. End of the day, if there is any fix or any issue, definitely it has to done by the developer only.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
supporting just inform us.
Yeah, yeah. It's a kind of purely kind of monitoring and
Yeah,
basic
redirecting
stuff.
to us. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
You Kumar. SK?
So CI/CD it's mentioned over
Hi,
here.
Oh,
hi,
SK, go
Bhaskar.
ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Bhaskar. This is Suresh here. Thanks for your representation. Yeah, the question over here is just need to understand, is this learning of Azure data engineering can be applicable to other cloud services, just difference with the terminologies only, or still we need to learn?
Terminology is more or less same, but the tools will be differ. Okay,
Okay.
the way of doing is differ. But when you go for Databricks, it is very much common in all the 3 cloud platforms like GCP, AWS, Azure. They associated with the Databricks only. So if you know Spark, then you can work in any cloud platform.
And do you be learning about the components? So, or we don't require, as you mentioned in the session, it's all part of the admin role. So we don't need to learn about the networking or
No, no,
provisioning, those
no,
kind of things,
no, no,
right?
no, 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 no. Those are all
Okay.
not required.
And we don't need any privileged experience, any even a basic level experience on Python, right?
Experience is not required. We are going to have experience on PySpark, not on the Python.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Dhananjay.
Yeah, like PySpark, how it is different from Python?
PySpark is a framework. Spark is a framework to provide the solution for the big data. Okay, so we are going to use the PySpark with Python style. So because of that reason, they are calling that as a PySpark. PySpark means Spark plus Python.
Yeah.
Okay, so Spark framework we are going to use. We are not going to use Python. Python works on a single system, monolithic approach, but Spark works on a cluster. Okay, so what is a cluster? All those things we are going to see in the next week.
Okay, okay. So are you going to implement AI also, like in
No,
PySpark?
we are not going to implement AI, but we are going to use AI for writing a coding in Databricks and Fabric.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. So we don't actually have to write the codes.
I recommend it to write at the time of learning, but at the time of working, I recommend to use AI also to speed up.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah, Mohammed.
So, thanks for presentation. It was really nice.
Thank
So,
you.
I have one question. Like the Databricks alone and Databricks on Azure, what is the difference? How the things works? Do you have
Okay,
like
so yeah. So I understand. Like, if you basically this there is a we have a discussion about it, but I'll just give higher level at high level. So we have a Spark. Okay, the Spark is the origin of everything. So on top of the Spark only, people has built this like we created a Azure Databricks. I mean they associated on top
Okay.
of the Spark, Azure Databricks. Basically, it is Databricks. I say they associated with AWS by default. The free trial of Databricks comes with AWS. Okay, so Databricks is a company. So they associated with this is the default one, right? Let's say something like this. They associated with Azure, so they named it as Azure Databricks. They associated with GCP also, that is a GCP Databricks. In the same way, they associated with AWS Databricks also. AWS, then that is AWS Databricks. Okay, so everything is going to be same, the software wise. Only the difference is these people are going to use ADLS Gen 2 here for storage, and these people will use GCP Google file system. And this is S3 bucket. Only storage is going to be differs, but software comes from the Databricks only. Okay, so software comes from the Databricks. You got my point, right? So
Yeah.
Databricks, these details I'm going to talk again at the time of Spark introduction. But
Sure.
if you know at one place, then you can work with any kind of Databricks. Everyone uses Spark only end of the day. Spark is a framework. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Good. All right, team.
Yeah,
Good.
Bhaskar, I
Yes,
have
sir.
one more question. Sorry to disturb you again.
Yeah.
So, what about the future of this data engineering on the cloud platform? How long it is? Because we are getting into the AI models as well at the market at right now. So, it is going to be at least for a decade, or it's only a
It will be there at
short
least for
span of.
decade. And one more thing is, before before using the AI, you need to process it.
Hmm.
So that is what we have seen the starting of the session Lakshmi showed. Okay, so just have a look on the starting first to 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So if you give the raw data to the AI, it will give a different different output. If you give a cleansed data, it will give a different output. So AI also you have to give a right prompt, right? If you give a wrong prompt, it will give a wrong answer. I
Yeah.
experienced that in my team also. Many people experienced it. So at least if you have some knowledge, then only you can drive the AI properly.
Mhm.
Okay, so AI cannot give directly, cannot do the data processing completely. You have to give the processed data to the AI. We are going to
Okay.
use the AI for speed up of writing a code. You don't
Okay.
need to remember the code. You don't need to remember the syntax,
Mm.
but it cannot do everything. Okay, so it will help us to do it.
Okay. At least this process will be in the
Yeah,
market
it
for
will be there.
a
Yeah, it will
decade.
be there.
Yeah.
At least for a decade will be there.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Rohit, any question again?
Yeah, Bhaskar, one question. So, Databricks, they integrated with all the cloud platforms because Databricks is a separate standalone, right?
Yes. You're right.
So,
Only these
is
three
it
cloud providers
okay?
only they are associated,
Oh,
not other cloud providers yet.
okay. Okay, was that done recently or?
No. It was there long ago. Long ago means from 19 onwards it is there.
Do Oracle owns any Databricks on their side, or they don't?
They're not having it directly with the Databricks company. But if you take a Fabric is not associated with the Databricks. They have their own Spark solution.
Okay.
Okay, so they can have it. I'll talk about it. Like when we come across the
Okay.
Spark introduction, then you can get a full clarity why we are giving why Microsoft Fabric is giving competition to the Databricks.
Okay. But why we don't see Oracle anywhere in this service providers?
They
Right.
need to associate, right? That is their
Mm.
software.
Mm.
That's their interest. And fine day they may go with them also,
Mm.
because if the competition is getting more, then definitely Databricks company also try to adopt other cloud providers also.
They have OCI, right, for the Oracle.
Oracle Data Integrator something is there. I'm not sure. They have a cloud.
Yeah, Oracle have a cloud, Oracle Cloud Platform, Oracle Cloud Integrator, but I don't see these kind of Databricks kind of products or
That's what.
solution providers. Yeah.
Recently they started. Recently means if you take a Amazon the first cloud provider, if I'm correct. So
Hmm.
later, after long time only Microsoft started. They realized and started. By the time AWS acquired a lot of market,
Hmm.
and infra side they did not concentrate more. Microsoft concentrated on the data side, data processing.
The
So
current market, it seems to be the AWS getting migrated to the Azure. Yeah.
yes, there are many projects are migrating towards to the Azure.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of AWS Glue. It's like
They're
a
becoming,
ETL.
yes, like a data factory they're trying to bring, but it takes some
Okay.
time to acquire the market. I think we are done, Lakshmi.
You can stop the screen share. So team, all of you have my WhatsApp number. So it's most of the time I'm available. I work for 16 to 17 hours a day from morning 7 o'clock to night 11 o'clock Melbourne time, 7 days a week. You just give me a call. I'm just a call away. That's what I tell to my students. Okay. So you have my WhatsApp number, and you can connect
So,
with me. Those who just joined. So you can, yes, where is this? I'm just sending it to again. +61 and 41251636 is my number. It's always with me.
sure. Sir,
Okay.
when the recording will be uploaded? After how many hours?
Recording, just actually this is a 3 hour class recording. The Zoom will take some time to process, maybe like 1.5 hour. It's already my time. You can see it's here night 11:15 p.m. So last 2 days I've been working left and right. So I have to sleep now. And then yeah, when I wake up, my at least in 7 hours from now, I will be uploading it.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
once I upload, I will be uploading here, and then I am going to give you the access. I will confirm in the group as well. Not yeah, August 2026. Yeah. So few of the people already gave me the email address, so I already added. So if any of you are pending, please message me your email ID. I will be adding, so all of you can access. So did we give download option the Bhaskar for these data files?
Yes, Lakshmi.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So people
okay, I
can
can download. Yeah.
download. Yeah, yeah, sure.
The first week they can download everything.
First week you can download. Yes, yeah, correct.
Sorry.
So on a daily basis you will be having. Yes.
Lakshmi, I requested for access. Can you please check it out?
Oh yeah, yeah, sure, sure. No problem at all. Yeah. Satya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No problem at all. All done.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Done. Anyone, any questions, my dear students?
Sir, my
Yeah.
access is given? No.
No, no,
Yeah,
not done, Ajay. Not done, Ajay. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, sir. You can give
Okay.
it to me. No problem. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. I will give it to Dhananjay. I think your access is already there. Please click on the link from your email. Just this is the email, right? So from the email, click on the request access. I will approve it. Yeah, no
Sure.
big deal. Mohammed, I think your email ID is not correct. So please
no,
kindly give
no.
me your.
I sent it updated only in the
You
if
sent it. You sent the updated
yeah.
one. Oh, okay, okay. Ha ha ha.
So
All
the
right.
A is got auto corrected, so it's missed one.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I tried to add one or two times. Yeah, sure. I'll
Okay.
just
It
quickly check after that. Yeah, yeah.
starts with 8 for 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone? Any final questions? Thank you very much, my dear students. So from next week, we are going to have live sessions from Saturday and Sunday. So please be prepared. I will be communicating promptly with each of you on the email, on your WhatsApp, and communication will be there. And if you need any help during the week, please do not hesitate to call, ask, and we will continue to share all the useful resources and information. Okay, team? All good?
To request the access?
Did you request? Okay, you requested it? Okay, no problem at all.
No,
I'll
no, I
just check.
get that request access only in the mail.
Oh, you didn't get the mail itself?
Oh, I didn't get the mail only.
Oh, okay, okay. Then I have to check it in the system. Maybe in the system. You made the payment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 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 okay. So it should be there in the email. So Dhananjay. This is the one plus Dhananjay.
Yes, DHA and ACS.
Dhananjay. So you have this one.
Yeah.
Zoom and the drive link. You already opened it, right? You already
Yeah.
opened this one. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you open, so you have the Zoom link, and then here is the drive link. So I'm asking you to click on request access. Click
Okay.
request access. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye. All right, team. Thank you very much, and hope whoever newly joined here, hope you got a good value. So from next week, we'll be full on the practicals and the concepts. Okay, team. Thank you very much once again. I'm stopping the recording.
Thanks.